no doubt in my mind here, as it looks like Corky, DRG, again, fighting in the same space here. Meanwhile, Dunkway says, YOLO! Polo! As it looks like he finds the opportunity here just for that, and then just like that, the Wushin able to take him out and says, see you later. My name is Cookie, and I like to cook.
Corky just trying to find any space he can get to where he's not going to get hunted down here, but FunPlus Phoenix is on the hunt, so Corky, is he going to decide just to let himself go? No, he decides he thinks better of it. He goes very low to the tick. He hides for as long as he possibly can in the zone there, and it looks like FunPlus Phoenix doesn't find him out, so he's going to live to make it to the end of the lobby here. OUG, no, no, he lets himself die to the zone. Corky decides it's not worth giving these other teams another elimination and goes down to the zone tick.
Definitely an interesting pick, knowing that he could potentially, if he had something decent on his roster in terms of a well-rounded ranged weapon, he could potentially maybe steal an elimination or two, but very shocking to see that even within these first couple of games, he just decides, like, no, it's not worth it.
Very, very interesting strategy coming in from DRG's Corky, especially given how long he was able to survive out until the last game. He was able to take second place for DRG. Yeah, and it's a huge difference between 0.5 and 1 placement points and 2.5 placement points. So, gonna be interesting to see if that potentially comes back to haunt the members of DRG.
Let alone in this circle, which there's a lot of floors to cover. And there is a lot of vertical play in these moments. He really could have found himself a decent little hiding spot here to where he really could have been able to just maximize this opportunity and just let these teams fight it out. And if he does have a decent space to get some shots, he could have been able to secure himself maybe at least an elimination or two, as long as nobody's paying attention. But it looks like it's going to be on the outskirts and a little bit more open, so maybe it was a decent call just to decide, nope, I'm not going to give anybody a free elimination, a free score. And it looks like now we're going to start to slowly close in on this circle as we see OUG at the very end, as you see that custom poster for Bring the Heat, the Naraka Blade Point group stages absolutely showing up there. Whose face are we going to see as those grand champions all over Morse Isle and Holleroff? That is yet to be seen, as we're going to be able to go right back towards the action. FunPlus Phoenix all the way up top here. Decent ranged weapons. FunPlus Phoenix's water has that meteor. They're going to try to see if they can get some hits in. So far, though, OUG, XCG, FunPlus Phoenix. Who you got?
Oh my goodness, this is going to be a tight one, but my money's on OUG. Don't get me wrong, FunPlus Phoenix excels at closing out end games, but it's typically amongst the chaos of a large group of players. So for there only to be 3 teams, this is not really where FunPlus Phoenix excels as much, because they have to figure out that momentum, that tipping point, where they don't end up being the team who's being third party. XCG here, LX Edge, being an absolute menace right now, using that Rupture Gale Orb on his cannon to just pepper OUG through the floor, knowing that that's where their position is. Man, LXH is just coming in and saying, I'm gonna make you burn some resources.
Ding dong! Bing bong!
OUG coming out of their hidey hole here, deciding that they've kind of had it with the members of XCG as they start to pressure out here and look to trade some shots with FunPlus Phoenix down below as well. It's going to be a very tight circle as we now have Zone 6 collapsing on the 7th final zone here, and OUG has repositioned to the backside here where they have a little bit of space to maneuver into, because this is going to be a tight circle when it fully collapses, and it's going to be FunPlus Phoenix holding a power position over the top side here. They've got those wind walls to buy themselves some space, and XCG just put into a corner, no place to go. They're extremely low. These two teams are going to have to pressure very soon. FunPlus Phoenix coming in with the tactical nuke, looking to lock down the whole lobby. It's XCG who's going to be the main target here, though, as they turn everything they have. OUG was able to get away from it. We're going to see the Wu Channel invested as they back away. FunPlus Phoenix overcommitting. LX Dex brought back in. XCG trying to keep it alive here, holding on for dear life, but it's OUG who's coming in fresh. They've popped the ultimate, they get grabbed out, but the Furin follow-up here, who's going to be able to pick up the eliminations? Is it going to be, yes, OUG?
OUG coming through, absolutely being absolute detriments as XCG sees this as the opportunity here. And Fun plus Phoenix using it to their advantage as they're both going to be able to collide all the way down. The ulti comes through. Beautiful time strike here, trying to see if maybe they can gather him up in one space. OUG's the king can barely collide out of here and trying to get them out of harm's way. OUG's the king is going to be able to find a shield swap inside of the chest. Beautiful parry on the SS here. Fun plus Phoenix's water trying to see if he can find it. He is reading everybody like a book, but it looks like OUG is able to read it a little bit better as they both double team one of their players, and Zayue is eliminated from this game. Meanwhile, both being able to synergize on each side here. Double S trying to hold on strong. Water gets pushed outside of the circle. The circle tick is absolutely bleeding them dry. Gets the finish. Beautiful hits on the outskirts. XCG is nowhere to go, and OUG is able to close out game number 3.
You asked me to call it, Dobby, and I called it. OUG is going to be the one who walks away in the end from that final circle, from those 3 teams, the King, SS,
they got
Sinew, able to put an MVP up on the board in the first half of the day.
They got it. There was definitely the thing that we wanted to see and hope that they did, especially after their tremendous performance in Game 2. So them coming in and absolutely destroying, I mean, it's not even close in terms of eliminations. It's not even close. So being able to do that and absolutely take the top spot in this first half, what a strong starting performance for OUG.
Yeah, this is a huge game for them in terms of qualifying to head on from group stages to grand finals. This could be the game that cinches it all for them, depending on how their performance goes throughout the rest of the week.
Absolutely insane, and what a tremendous performance from really all of the players all around, from XCG, OUG, and of course Fun plus Phoenix. Fun plus Phoenix hold on for a very, very long time there.
Oh, absolutely. But again, this is the thing. Fun plus Phoenix, they know how to close out hectic end games. Going into an end game where it's 3 teams and you really have whoever engages first is at that detriment. Fun plus Phoenix, they don't really know how to hold off of that gas pedal so well. So when they're put in that situation where it's like, you don't want to be the first team, you don't want to be, they've got that W key mentality that they bring to those final circles, Dobby.
It's crazy to see a team thrive on chaos and can really multitask with so many things happening, but then can fall short with a very calculated plan and a small set amount of people. It's interesting to see how certain brains and how we're wired to where that can be the struggle, but for some reason when there's 10 people, they're all dousing one person in the same section, or we're getting 4 corners of monks in different areas and everybody's trying to reach and grab faster than like most tall dads trying to reach for a bag of, a good bowl of Cheerios. It's like you see all of these different things, so it's interesting to see how they can adapt amongst all of this chaos. But then when it comes down to those final moments and there's only a few people, they just kind of short circuit.
Well, look, when it comes down to it, OUG had really set themselves up for this final circle. They had the better gear. They really had the better comp for this final circle and were just able to clutch it out. They played that extremely well. They baited out XCG into a corner and made Fun plus Phoenix step on that gas pedal. They were then able to pull away from that after having picked up an elimination and return the third party back onto Fun plus Phoenix and XCG. And the target acquisition was so on point. When they were able to shove water out into the zone, that was the moment that OUG wins that game.
Force that circle to do the work for them. But also, because water realistically was the...
You okay, Dobby?
Sorry, I'm short-circuiting. I need like 4 people talking to me at once because that's clearly what they needed. It's interesting to see how water was really the deciding factor of Fun plus Phoenix, because everybody was really dialed in. The moment water was gone, the rest of the team synergy just...
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, is sometimes if you're just able to identify who the target acquisition needs to be, if you're able to lock that target down, separate them from the team, it's very hard for a team to bounce back sometimes when that plan that you thought out in your head and you were like, surely this is gonna work, there's no way we don't just big vibe off of this, all of a sudden crumbles under your feet. Now you have to recalculate that entire plan, and when you're Fun plus Phoenix and you don't have that chaos around you to play off of, it can be very difficult. But that's a situation that OUG thrives in, and again, they were playing the better comp for Final Circle, they had the better gear advantage for Final Circle, and they were able to bait Fun plus Phoenix into that situation where they kind of gas pedaled a little too soon. They were able to draw them into that bad fight so that they could turn a third party back around onto them. And this is OUG knowing the competition, knowing how to play into their mental and draw them into a bad position so that they can capitalize on it.
And I think I want to smash them all now. Speed up. Gas pedal. Gas pedal. Gas pedal.
Well, you're no more than 6 seconds, Tommy.
That was about 4.
Oh my goodness, there we go. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The first 20 bomb of the 2023 J-Cup Trios goes to OUG with 21 eliminations and a game score of 33.4.
What a strong finish for our half here. But let's not forget DRG holding on for as long as possible. 11 eliminations and a 15.8. That's still going to be really good for them. And XCG, again, rounding out that third spot with that 13.7. They're still there. They're still getting those eliminations. They're still getting those points. It's just, you know, OUG just decided, hey, it's time to go crazy.
Say it with me now, Dobby. Consistency!
Oh my goodness. And of course with Fun plus Phoenix getting into that top 5 here. 7 eliminations, also tying that up with 5-2-1. But 11.1 overall here. And look at these numbers, the king!
Oh my god!
49,000 that's 50,000
healing.
That's 50,000. You might as well round it off. That's almost 50,000 in healing. That is an MVP if there's nothing else.
12 assists too. It's just absolutely MVP material.
That is MVP material, keeping your team alive in so many hectic situations here. OUG was able to do the most, but the king clearly couldn't his crown.
So you remember last game when you said you were like, I'm impressed that Zipping did 5K healing. That's a whole lot of healing.
That's a whole lot of healing.
Yeah. The king was listening to that and said, hey, Dobby, I'm going to show you what a lot of healing is because we about to tack another 0 on the end of that.
50,000. Goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness. Okay, there were only less than 200 points of healing away from. I'm just gonna round it off and just say that's a 50 bomb. That's 50K. That is a 50 bomb of healing. If we're gonna go look at the total standings, though, still a little bit of some struggles. NTL finally got on the board. 5.1. Not exactly nothing huge, but 6.1. They at least got something. Then sometimes that's all you need is a little bit of something, because it's better than getting a whole lot of nothing. As we look back towards that 5-2-1, rounds out the top 7. But look at this, 30s, tying it up with GG and DRG with that 30.3. And just like that, OUG takes the lead with less than a 0.6 score.
That's what I'm talking about, our boys from OUG. Happy to see the king coming in, finding their pacing in game number 3 and able to climb all the way to the top of the leaderboard. And you know what? Shaking things up here. We've got OUG, we've got XCG, we've got Fun plus Phoenix, and we've got VNGC. All of these teams performing exceptionally well in all of their games, able to climb to the top of the leaderboard right now. And man, it's going to be a good year for the Rockets. We take a look at some of these replays here. We're going to see OUG right here. This is the fight that they're able to come in 5-2-1, really trying to play them around this no hold zone, bait this fight out, but it doesn't matter. OUG's able to come in. They're able to cleanse that Yang depletion and keep the game alive.
Keeping the game alive was definitely the name of that game here, as NTL and Tryhard trying to do what they can here, but this was definitely a sayonara from them as they got the stun. That Viper was able to do the most. Fun plus Phoenix with a beautiful hit onto XCG that literally captivates the rest of the team and causes the problems. But there goes that double starter hit, not only with the stun, but the parry was able to shut down XCG, and obviously OUG was able to round it off all the way, pushes NISQ off the outskirts, gets into Fun plus Phoenix's water, and then they're able to close it out with XCG's LXH. They held that for as long as possible, and they played the game of their life. And are we surprised to see the king being the MVP with 50,000 healing?
Here we go. I called this as well, right? I called the group heal coming in when we saw Jinyu go extremely low. He not only had the group heal, he had the advanced heal. If you're on zipping, no wonder he was able to get almost that 50K healing here. Group heal, advanced heal, you're running around, you're healing your team all the time, and you're zipping. So you have some of the most effective healing abilities in the entire game. And of course, if your OUG's the king, you're gonna push that to the limit.
Can we say one thing too? 12,000 damage coming in from just the fan alone. 12,000, okay? Literally, that's only, like, the rest of the 4,000 comes from anything else. That fan put in absolute work just as much as that healing circle did with 50,000 healing. I'm just going to be sitting that for the rest of the day. 50,000 healing, the king, you did your thing. Handsome as can be, and look at that. You're able to heal your team up like always. Like,
we gonna have to name him Mr. 50K. You know what I'm saying?
He's got to have a 50K now. He's got to have a 50K badge. He has to after that point. I'm convinced. You got me. I'm sold. Like, that's insane to be able to do that and still be able to produce a decent amount of eliminations. Even with how they were able to synergize that towards the very end, because that really could have been, in reality, anyone's game. With the right stun, somebody pushes a little bit more aggressively, somebody pushes back. XCG was far on the outside by themselves. That stun from the Viper takes the rest, and then them up top is just trying to pelt as much as possible.
Here's the thing, is OUG playing this out, right? They applied a pressure to XCG, who was in that corner.
Oh, absolutely.
When they applied that pressure, Fun plus Phoenix having the high ground applies the pressure. OUG knows Fun plus Phoenix is in this final circle. They know that Fun plus Phoenix will press any advantage they get, because they like to ride that gas pedal.
True.
They don't know how to slow down.
Somebody had to make the choice. Somebody had to go.
As soon as XCG gets a little bit low from all of those range shots, what do you see happen? OUG starts across the middle of the map. They take a couple little trades with XCG, but they don't actually force themselves into that corner. And what happens is Fun plus Phoenix goes, oh, it's go time. And then OUG hard swerves left. They understand that they have baited Fun plus Phoenix into that fight. And as soon as that Viper ult comes down, OUG has tucked themselves into that little balcony to completely avoid the stun. But once Fun plus Phoenix has given up their position of power, they've dropped down, they no longer have that stun, and that stun was the biggest threat to OUG. They just come in off of the top rope and go, hey, Fun plus Phoenix, thanks for doing it up for us, we're going to take it away now.
And not only that, too, that also left XCG in a very open situation. Meanwhile, both of them was able to hold up top here, as one is up top, the other one's down low at the bottom. When that Viper ult hits, like you said before, they're up on balcony. They ain't got to worry about none of that. They ain't have to worry about none of that. But as we're going to be able to grow towards that, we still got to give you guys another video, and it's coming from Zhao. See you guys in a moment.
Thank you all to casters, and hi everyone, this is Yeager and welcome to post-game interview. And now I'm standing here with Xiaohu and let him say hello to our audience. Hello 小虎，欢迎来到节杯，欢迎再次来到我们的英文流采访。那先和观众朋友们打招呼吧。
Hello， 大家好，我是来自 FunPlus 朱雀的小虎。
欢迎小虎，怎么样？紧不紧张今天？
有点小紧张，毕竟是第一次，就是跟外国友人在线下 PK 嘛。
So long time didn't go to the post-game interview, and I would just like to know is if Xiaohu is a little bit nervous, and he told me yes, a little bit nervous because rest for so long time. Okay, let's back to the matches today. So to the J-Cup, so how's your feeling for today's matches and especially your opponent from other regions? 那我首先想问一下小虎啊，因为来到了我们节杯之后呢，就特别想问一下，碰到了那么多其他赛区的高手们，今天目前打到现在感觉怎么样？有没有哪些选手给你就是压力挺大的，或者队伍也可以这样？
给我压力挺大的队伍，感觉有 VNGC 跟521嘛，因为他们也算是节杯的老选手了，然后他们来参加肯定能给我们部分的就是国内的队伍一些压力，然后我觉得他们实力也很强。
So actually, I think these teams, like they come here last year, they gave us some pressure. So first of all, because they are traditional esports club and they have the experience, that's why after they come to Shanghai and in the J-Cup, and we really a little bit nervous, and it also gave us a lot of pressure. Okay, let's move on to next part, answer for treasure. 好，接下来也到了我们有奖问答的环节，来看一下今天的题目是什么。Okay, so you guys can see the question on the screen, and if you know the answer, just type them in the chat box. After our player counting 3, 2, 1, we will take a screenshot, and the lucky guy will be whispered. So let's see today's question. How many score did FPXZQ achieve in this match? 好，今天的题目呢是这一把比赛当中，你们队伍到底拿到了多少积分？ 那其实这把我们可以看得出来，朱雀打的还是非常不错的。要给自己的队伍打一个分数的话，准备打几分
？9.9分吧。因为最后决赛圈就是没打过嘛，就是因为队友被吹了，就差一点。
Okay, I just asked him because they did really good performance in the game 3, and I would like to know how he gave the score to his teammate. And he said like 9.9 because the last 0.1 is because they had some mistakes in the final because of the opponent. Okay, so I think our players prepared and let's start counting. 那小虎应该准备好了，接下来就让我们进入倒计时。跟我一起说英语的 3, 2, 1可以吗 ？OK， 来进入倒计时。3, 2, 1 Screenshot. Okay, don't be nervous, okay? And let's find out the correct answer. 那也有请小虎来给我们公布一下正确答案是哪个
A.
Yes, the correct answer is A. Okay, and last question I would like to know because from the game 1 to game 3, we know the patch version. We have the new hero Hardy, but we didn't see it yet in the Shroud's game. So I would like to know why. 那最后请小虎给我们再分析一下，为什么目前为止哈迪还没有在3排当中上场？
因为哈迪，因为毕竟刚出来嘛，然后3排这边的话，可能暂时没有找到就是适配他的英雄。毕竟3排是3个人嘛，但感觉哈迪在单排还是有说法的。
So because Hardy is a new hero now in Naraka, and for now, I think in the Shroud's game, every team doesn't find a good like competition for Hardy and don't know which hero can like cooperate with Hardy. But it's really strong in solo game, and we can looking forward to its performance. 好的，谢谢小虎今天接受我们的采访，也再次恭喜你们前3场非常精彩的发挥和表现。那接下来只能说继续好运 ，OK? Good luck to you and thank you for today's interview. And we will take a break and be right back later.
看来有人要迟到了呀！
今天什么来头？
首届级别冠军，
春季赛冠军
，NBPL 夏季赛冠军
，NBPL 春季赛亚军。
今年那计划怎么开始这么早啊？小组赛就开始说了？
这不是国际友人来中国了吗？那不得好好欢迎一下他们。
大家好，我也回来了。DBCQ King is here.
Hi everyone, I'm IDC Say. I'm glad that I'm back and I'm ready to shine on the stage.
Các bạn mới đến đây lần thứ 2 thôi à, còn tôi thì đến đây lần thứ 3 rồi.
哦，好巧，我也是第3次参加姐杯的。
参加了3年有什么用？不过是到此一游罢了。
Mình Phúc Khinh khê đây thôi chào là.
It's a world competition now, and everyone is a top player from their region, except a few people.
小区篮球赛冠军也叫冠军，唯一拿过节杯冠军的，今年只剩我一个。
都多少年的冠军了，还在这说呢？
I'm ready to fight, J Team.
We finally arrived, but where is J Team?
没进。Weibo Gaming top 3 năm ngoái đâu bước ra đây.
也没进。
去年节杯冠军都已经不在了，今年总该归我们了吧？
难道第一次打节杯就没有资格说话了吗
Exactly as the Chinese proverb says, 出人奴独跑虎 watch out for yourself.
以前是以前，
现在是现在。
我都还没说我节杯武神的故事呢。
Chiến thần ưng, bạn đã từng 1 đánh 3 chưa? Mùa trước tôi đã làm được 2 lần, còn mùa này tôi khẳng định là tôi sẽ làm được 3 lần.
New.
Giải đấu lần này mình không có tới trễ.
那真是不巧，我们赛区也进化了不少，
不仅变强了，还变帅了。
Bù ít thôi, đến khi không vào được vòng chung kết thì cũng phải khóc thôi.
这次我们集结了最强的 AS 赛区选手，这次我们一定可以更进一步的。
虽然我们第一次进节杯，但是进总决赛的话还是xa水了。Mục tiêu duy nhất của tôi năm nay là chỉ là vô địch. Mục tiêu duy nhất của chúng tôi năm nay chỉ là vô địch.
This game is about brains, and our team does not lack wisdom.
As the NA Trio champions, we're gonna make it through to the grand finals.
我会让你们看到冠军指挥的实力。
今年 T1的实力大家有目共睹，节杯的冠军我们势在必得。
我们已经剑指总决赛了，
我们已经买好成都的机票了。
开干！
顶lên!
Don't worry, I will only crush you inside the game and not in real life with these. Hello, I'm Zay. I'm part of Team IDC. I'm 24 years old and I have a background in Kung Fu. This is actually my first time in China and it feels really good to be in China. I think China is really beautiful and I really like the people in China. I think they're very respectful for everyone. I think my favorite Chinese food is Chinese mala. I ate it last year at Jacob in Singapore and this year I really would like to try it in Shanghai. I think the MVPL players are really coordinated. They play really good together, the China teams. I think they're far ahead of us, but I believe that we can catch up and that we can perform well this year. I really look forward to fighting TE. I think they are really innovative with their comps that they're making. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to fight them. I think it will take us a lot of good practice now during the scrims. We also have a coach from America, Raven. He's coaching us really good so far. So I think with him we can qualify probably. I think the other teams need to watch out for us. I think we're the dark horse of the competition and be prepared for us.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Naraka Bladepoint 2023 J-Cup. I'm Moxie and I'm joined on the desk with Duncan as we have the absolute pleasure of getting to bring you the second half of Trios Day 1. And Duncan, what a memorable set of 3 games that have been so far.
Oh, absolutely. We have had some games leading up to this 4th game. We're now in the second half. It is now the pressure starting to ramp up just a little bit. Certain teams lurking at the bottom of the leaderboard. You know, we've only got 12 games total to really set a good scoring for each individual team. They need to try and create as big a lead as they can. However, one thing I would like to note is that we've got some teams lurking at the bottom of the leaderboard. It's not the end of the world, you know. The main thing that these teams need to try and figure out is that it happens. You know? This sort of thing, it happens to the best of us, truly. And as soon as they realize that, as soon as they recognize that fact, I think they'll feel a lot more confident because they aren't just getting absolutely just slammed. They're not just getting completely screwed over. It's actually kind of close sometimes. You know, we've seen so many fights. For example, NTL, they've been having some really good fights in early games, and then certain times they've just been lacking a little bit of loot, for example. It's just been a bit unfortunate. There's been a lot of rather unfortunate situations. For example, in the most recent match, we had Tryhard and Ski getting stuck in the zone, getting hit by that Tessa charm and just getting absolutely melted by those crossbows. And it did so much. So many teams lurking around them. They had the Yang depletion. They desperately were trying to find some way of cleansing it, but unfortunately they weren't able to do so. That was their highest scoring game so far in the series, and hopefully they're going to be able to take that little nudge in the right direction forward and get the ball rolling.
I mean, you can absolutely bounce back. Look no further than yesterday, right? Spider comes in, first game of the day, doesn't do that great, and then he picks up back-to-back MVPs like an absolute, well, like the absolute champ that he is, because he is defending that title and he's looking a lot more confident. And it is going to be a lot, you know, about the experience, a lot of being able to deal with the pressure and stress, and knowing as well, having that mental fortitude. And this is something that we do talk about multiple times. Some of these teams are here for the very first time. NTL, however, they have Tryhard. They have that one player that they can rally behind. He's going to be able to give them a little bit of a pep talk in the little bit of time that we had between games 3 heading into game 4. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to see a big difference coming through from that team. Because like you said, sometimes they did really just get the short end of the stick, especially when it came to some of those drops. Yes, we did see that first game of Holoroth getting reset, but still my heart absolutely broke. You and I, when we saw that drop in Mitab, we both sunk a little bit further down in our seats because Mitab is not a fun loot path on Holoroth. You can spawn on entirely different levels. Where those troves are mixes up massively. You also have to remember as well that you're going to be dodging things like those miniature thorny rollers hanging from the sky, and you have to be so quick but so careful, and that just doesn't fit well if there's another team in the area, and that's exactly what happened. NTL landed, and another team are the ones that are able to find the tropes first, and it feels like that's been happening to a lot of teams so far today.
Absolutely. But however, let's talk about the top of the leaderboard.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies, all of these teams, VNGC I'd like to talk about, they've been doing so unbelievably well today, sitting, I think it was the fourth place spot on the total leaderboard. They've been playing so unbelievably well, consistently well, and it's lovely to see, because that was their main issue. But hey, here we have the support rate up on the screen just down here. We have in first place currently, we have 521, second is BNGC, third Lobby 28. A lot of support going out to these teams. And hey, we were just talking about VNGC. No, one of their biggest issues was that they struggled so much to stay consistent, and stay on the balls, to keep that ball rolling in the previous tournaments. And it looks as though they may have worked out the kinks, they've worked out the wrinkles, they've ironed them out, and they've come here to play at J-Cup Group.
I mean, not just that, but if you were here watching J-Cup last year, you're going to remember the Roy He Monk. I'm not surprised that VNGC are ahead in terms of those support rates, because they have the added benefit of having that memory from the previous year, having that previous experience and fan base. Because I mean, when you're taking a fight 1 versus 3, especially as a Tianhai, things are going to have to go horribly, horribly wrong for you to be able to walk out on top, and that's exactly what happened. Around the base tower of Ballista, Roy He is able to go for the Monk, and instead of disengaging, the team re-engage and both get scooped, and he's able to find the double grab. It's absolutely insane, but that's the thing. Roy He used to be known for his Monk, but it feels like he's taken that year of downtime to really fixate on learning a lot of these different heroes to play around the hero point rules. So even if you struggle on the Transformer composition, you can still make up for missing some of those points with something like a Sand Siphon composition, which we do have to talk about, because
indeed.
My goodness,
my
you
lord.
want to talk about memorable. I don't think we've ever seen a higher heal stat coming through than OUG's The King after that last match. 48,000!
It's absolutely bonkers, truly. Getting just under 50,000 healing. I mean, we did take a look at those Jades that he had in the inventory. He had the advanced heal and the group heal, and for those of you who don't know, these Jades synergize so unbelievably well together. I mean, he proved it. The King, he showed us how it's done. That's the top tier of Zipping Yin players. He just doesn't die. He's constantly able to keep his team alive. He's constantly able to send out those Fs, the damage reduction, the ultimates, the perfectly timed ultimates to keep his team from getting taken down. And then also another thing, which I also think speaks to how good a Zipping Yin player can be, is the anticipation of damage. So knowing when to use your ultimate, but also being able to tell once that danger has dissipated, being able to cancel it. Being able to cancel your ultimate and just save as much of that ultimate rage and charge as possible, so that you can go straight back in to another fight, or potentially if you get caught in the third party, you're still prepared, you're still ready to go, and you're still able to stay in the fight. It's so important. But yes, advanced heal, group heal, ladies and gentlemen, it really does wonders.
It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. And even, you know, more points going forwards for that Zip. We saw NTL get caught out, like you said, with that Tacit ultimate, locking down both your Monk but also your Karumi, and as a result, you're not able to use the F3 to use that 90% damage reduction on the Tether Snap to keep your Monk base tanking through all of the follow-up damage on those repeater crossbows. In fact, Karumi, yes, she can do so much in terms of mitigation, especially with the changes coming through where she now does get that heal on the F3, but it bars her out of fighting entirely. Zip can still keep the team chugging along, but she gets to make sure that all of the other teams around her are still taking an additional level of pressure from a player still in a fight.
Absolutely, being able to stay on the move, stay mobile, it truly speaks to how strong and how consistently well Sand, Siphon, Tamulk, Zipping Yin, and Takeda is able to perform in these lobbies, in this environment. It's become the staple. It's we see it so much more often now. It's insane, and I do love how this composition came about, how it went through changes, it went through experimentation. We had iterations where it was Takeda, Tumulk, and then Monk. We had Tianhai in there. We had so many different versions of this composition, but finally we settle on this one true Sand Siphon, or Juggernauts, if you will, whatever you'd like to call it. It is out there and is throwing punches, and it is doing extremely well. I mean, VNGC, in one of their interviews, he talked about how that composition was their core, that was their best composition, and how that was the one that they were going to focus on the most, try and get as tip-top and ready to go as possible, as it's the one that has the potentially highest payoff. You know, you're able to still do reasonably well in endgames when you're matched up against the Transformer compositions, Tianhai, Yueishan, and Kurumi. You're able to still last in those arenas, in those environments. You've got your, right here on the screen, we have your Viper, Yotohime, Wu Chen, your Attack on Titan, as it's been called many a time now. It's able to do very well in the mid-game as a sort of assassination comp, if you will. You dive in with the Viper silence, or potentially use the F3 variation that does a lot more damage and prevents the person that you connected to from being able to heal for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, it's great to counter that Zip. It's really good for Sand Siphon. The problem is, in Sand Siphon, Zip's not playing forward, Zip's playing behind. Takeda and Temi are always the ones in the forward position, so if they get the pressure, you've got that avenue of peel with the Wisp. Something else we haven't got to see, though, Duncan, is Feria.
True.
I wonder if we're
Very
going
true.
to see the Feria start to come through. We did get that version of the Yueishan, Yoto, and Justina, but something that you and I both noted was it was playing into, unfortunately, a lobby filled with Sand Siphon, and Justina into Tumult is not fun. That sand gets everywhere, and unfortunately the Justina does not get an easy exit outside of it, as opposed to trying to counter that Feria with the new freeze timer on those Transformer units, but it doesn't look... Oh wait, there it is! Once again, we are going to see Justina come into the mix, but yet again, Duncan, there's no Feria.
There's very little Feria. We do have a bit of a question mark up in... Ooh, there it is. It's gone now. We have Wu Chen coming in for 330 on Team CDGG, going for that Tessa Viper Wu Chen composition. We've been talking about this composition's potential name, you know? We think the Silent Fox, perhaps. I think that kind of works, but yes, this composition has been seeing a lot more play. Especially now, I think the meta is going to shift away from your Yotohime Viper Wu Chen, replacing Yoto with the Tessa, and then having the potential to take a different composition like VNGC just have, with Yotohime in there, Justina, and Yueishan being able to use that aggression. It does do decently into Sand Siphon, into your Tumulk, Takeda zipping, as you are able to completely burst down the Takeda. The Takeda with the F2 from Yotohime recently changed, recently buffed.
I love
You're
it.
able to do so much. Yeah, it becomes really hard to avoid.
I mean, it's so long. We've here, I will be a very happy Yoto main. But the fact that it lasts as long as it does, because remember, back in the day, Yoto F3 used to be the go-to because of how long the Dawn Sword actually lasted. You would take a lot of damage as a Yoto, you would drop your F3, you would sit in the middle of it, and you would get that heal off, and it's something very similar that you can do with the F2. The thing is, it's a window. It's very similar to that Takeda, right? With your F, you have to prematurely pop it and play into the mind games to actually have access to the combo break.
Absolutely, you have to be able to use that early. But as you said, they've changed it, they've buffed it now so that it lasts a lot longer, allowing you to have that window to use it. Essentially, it gives you more time. You can throw it down slightly earlier, and it creates a much bigger window where you have this pressure available to you. But hey, speaking of pressure, there is a lot of pressure in the air over here to the eastern side of the map. We have NTL, Team 28, and VNGC all lurking around these buildings. Oh, he was on the other side. I thought he was inside the building, but no, Tryhard narrowly missing out on catching. Oh, BNGC Minds. He does go for the grapple. Tryhard, though, he does get chipped away at by the BNGC team members, preventing the engage. They are ready to go. They know that their teammates are out in the open, but they're ready for the ambush. It looks like NTL trying to push forward slightly. They're trying to catch these players out of position. Ooh, Hero going very aggressive onto Roy. He catches. Oh, and Roy, he catches him out the air with the swing from that pulse sword. Tryhard going for the overhold. Doesn't. Blue focus into the parry, but Roy is able to dodge around it and avoid the damage. NTL, they have taken a big amount of chip damage, but they are so far not in too much danger. But speaking of danger, BNGC Minds, he gets caught by this Tessa. Oh, but the turnaround! Team 28, they lose a member. BNGC do as well. Asbon has been taken down without using his ultimate, unfortunately. And NTL coming in for the third party. D229. He's trying his best to space out Tryhard and co. Oh, they're jumping in. Roy with a huge turnaround parry. Oh, but the slam! Holy, that was... oh, that purple was pulse sword damage, tasty. Ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, it was set up as well by his teammates LMB on the dagger to actually send him aerial so Tryhard could fully commit into doing the damage, as we're going to see GG caught out inside the Bane's Breath. This is a Bane's Breath that they drop, but DRG dropping that Tumult ultimate before the Bane's Breath can hit, deciding to hold their ground, take the fight, using the Tumult ultimate to immediately eliminate a player from the side of GG, not allowing them to regroup. So even if they take additional pressure coming on out from the Bane's Breath, they've still got the numbers advantage, and GG would have to back on off instead.
Absolutely. DRG, known for their early Moonbanes throughout the recent splits in NBPL, they see that this team drops the Moonbane on top of them, but oh, you're trying to steal our strategy? Okay, we know how to deal with it, Big Doug. And they turn around and they come away with 3 eliminations. Very nicely done by DRG. The XCG lurking on the northern side of Eventide Temple. It looks as though they have been taken down. They have managed to find some blue armors, though. They're not too unlooted, so to speak. They do have a little bit in the bank. HLG as well. Ooh, they've managed to pick up a considerable number of kills already off the rip. 5 kills to their name. As a Transformer team composition, we talk about it all the time. Transformers, they love their shiny loot. Being able to scale very, very well with the higher rarity armor and weaponry. It essentially allows so much more value to come out from those transformations, giving you so much more power. And on top of that, just simply being able to, if your ultimates do go down, Transformers has been essentially a brick wall so many times. But if that brick wall starts to get chipped away at and you've used your ultimates, but you've still got all of this in the back pocket, it becomes very hard to deal with you. But we're heading over here. Team 28, they are getting shredded. D229, so unbelievably low. He does manage to get a heal from his Wu Chen grapple away, but unfortunately doesn't come through in time. He does get taken down, but they do go for the trade. The trade comes out. Asbon does get taken down. The NGC Minds, though, he's looking to re-engage, as is GG coming in here, looking for this third-party opportunity, gets the silence onto the Justina. Roy oh, he sends out the vertical blue focus, but it does not connect. He's just trying to apply as much pressure as he possibly can. Here, GG still lurking, trying to bide their time to find that optimal third-party opportunity. You don't want to just go in guns blazing with no thought in mind. You have to calculate. You have to be ready for anything. And if you jump in, if you jump the gun, it could be the end for you, and you may be sent back to the lobby.
I mean, talking about blazing, I do have to talk about the fact that VNGC with this Justina and Yodo actually utilized the Yodo F2 to keep those players locked into position, so they got hit by that Justina dash and were not able to avoid it. Really lovely stuff getting to see coming on out the new synergies available on the table for some of these newer compositions, which because they're newer compositions, they're not as predictable, they're not as well known. So when you see that Yodo F2, you're not really expecting a follow-up Justina ultimate ultimate to come on out. Instead, you're looking to try and figure out how you're going to be able to work around the Yodo's golden focus access, as we are going to see GG still taking a lot of pressure on the backside, as we're going to see 2-8 actually decide to back on off. Realm of Yang's going to be starting to spawn on up as well. For those Transformer teams, it's going to be so important that they go through. But we're going to see a bounty scroll come on out. DRG Sanzi with that Takeda does still have 3 of those shoves left. Such a good Tumult ultimate, locking everyone down. Blistering Edge from Corki as well to be able to provide even more spacing and keep this pressure up onto 5-2-1, who see that they haven't been able to find an interception. Sanzi with one of those other shoves, making sure that none of his team are going to get jumped on or grappled cancelled, as IDC has shown up with a body, but Sanzi, no!
Oh, Alexan coming in with the musket shot, managing to steal away that kill. Very nicely done, in the right place at the right time, but they may have put themselves in a sticky situation. It might be pretty rough to get into the safe zone. They were coming in from the back. They were the last ones into the zone, last ones to rotate. Oh my lord! Corki with a huge parry, the turnaround, the zipping F1 as well to keep him topped up, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. And Unique is going to be able to take him down with that blue fan in hand. Oh, another huge parry coming out. Akami catching that dragon-like might. The Tumog going up into the sky with that F1, but Unique doing exactly the same. And Wuxing sending it to the other side. Akame getting caught, just buying enough time so that he can get that ultimate down. But Unique, hey, we all know Tumulks, they can go through each other's sand walls, and it can be extremely difficult to do anything against another Tumulk. But a little bit of an input. Oh, the grapple may have... Oh no, okay. He does get taken down. Wuxing, he's clutching it up with this dragon-like might, just doing so much damage. Very well played by DRG.
Yeah, really good stuff coming through from DRG. They were also able to get Sanzi up in the meantime as well, which is absolutely huge. The fact that they're able to recover from being in the middle of multiple teams and taking a fight in the zone when they'd already invested those ultimates is absolutely insane. It really does go to show how clutch this team can be, as we're going to see those Realm of Yangs start to spawn on forward. OUG not in a position to be able to put themselves into it, however, as they are currently being herded by HLG, the king incredibly low, and as a result, it's actually going to be VNGC versus KLA. This time it's not Roy Hee versus Rosemary, it's going to be Roy Hee on that Justina, gets caught out by the fan coming down, has to use the Justina ultimate incredibly quickly. KLA's you going to answer with a Takeda ultimate to try and zone the Yodo away, and Roy Hee is able to find the freeze onto the Takeda. Gorgeous stuff coming on through, tries to find the second, but Yu's able to use the shove to be able to get on out of it. Roy Hee looking to try and find the dash, but he's out of them. He goes into the shove, he gets locked in the middle of the dreadful whale, and he goes down.
Oh my, that was a true decimation, dissection. Oh, KLA with that dreadful whale just doing so much damage, locking those players of VNGC down and just denying any opportunity. Very nicely done by KLA, and they're able to pick up that Realm of Yang win, get that gold weapon, get that purple armor, and get that buff to go into the skirmishes of the mid-game. And speaking of skirmishes, we have a fight going on here between DRG and Team 28. Oh! Huge peel coming in from that dragon-like Wuxing. He is popping off this game. He's absolutely putting in work. He's on the chase as well. He's not letting Team 28 get away with this. He is on the hunt. The jaw is clenched. He's got the teeth locked in. And the dragon-like, here it is again. Sansi with the lift. Oh, 21. He's so unbelievably low. The Viper ult coming out with the Tessa as well. The turnaround from Team 28. The Tessa ult doing so much, locking them down, preventing them from being able to immediately look for a disengagement on that Viper ult. But DRG, they aren't done yet. They're fighting back. Corki with a huge Dragon Slayer into the follow-up. And DRG turning it back around. Oh my. Oh, what a fight. What on earth? DRG and Team 28 at each other's throats.
I mean, the last time we saw this team, they came so close to walking away with the MVPL Championship back in Season 2, but my goodness, they are coming incredibly close to lifting the trophy here at Jacob. But that's the point we're going to have to circle back to, because again, we're going to see a fight go down. HLG's hand with that Tian High transformation, immediately going to pop it as KLA back on off, swapping to the range projectiles to try to just pressure this Monk into dropping the ultimate early. Han, without that bigger health pool, is now going to be vulnerable. You unfortunately get griefed by the rock into the first state charge of the Kitana. It's a 1 versus 2. You immediately going behind the Monk to make sure that he's going to be able to find the blue connection as Peak is able to throw the focus. As a result, that's the spacing you want to see in trios, where even if you're able to throw one focus, they're not able to parry behind them, and they're going to be able to find the connection.
Very nicely done there. Ooh, we have Tryhard and Co. over here being lifted into the air by DRG. The dual halberds from this man have been performing so unbelievably well. A huge parry coming out from Tryhard, but unfortunately he's not able to get that follow-up. Stuck in the Tumulk wind. Ski gets taken down, Tryhard gets shoved. Oh, gets the grab onto Wuxing, but it's not going to do all that much for him, and he gets juggled and taken down. I think there is one member still remaining, indeed, Hero. He's just getting juggled. He can't do anything about it, and there it is. NTL getting eliminated from this game. Unfortunate to see, but heading on over. IDC versus KLA. IDC have already taken down one member of KLA, but KLA does have that Vermilion Bird's might to keep them alive, keep them in the lobby. Lexon narrowly avoiding this dagger horizontal, trying his best to move around, but it's so unbelievably difficult. He does get that ultimate off, though. The one opportunity, the shove. Oh my! The blender coming through, and IDC stuck on the buttery rocks into the blender. Absolutely obliterated.
That's another team utilizing the speed that the R&B on the halberds gets thrown out to set up these other players. DRG, I think, have been doing the best job at it. We've actually seen Wujin coming in with those dual halberds, throwing out the R&B to set up his teammates for things like the Dragon Slayers off of that speed because they're stuck in the stagger and not able to anticipate the parry as Roy Hee trying to find the freeze. Are we going to see any of the follow-up? Oh, no. Roy Hee having to use the freeze. Shell coming out of that. Justina defensive gets parried. Doesn't have the freeze. Shell not back this time to be able to recover and look for that reset. And the Justina goes down. Nai HQ now with the Takeda ultimate has one shove left. Looking to try and find the finisher. Will be able to connect onto VNGC's mines as the Yushan is going to fall down to the musket coming out from Nai HQ. And we're starting to see, even though we're seeing the development of these new compositions, they're a little bit harder to actually put into motion because of how new they are. Both the Yoda ultimate was up, and the Justina ultimate was up, and the Yushan ultimate was up, but it didn't find any value.
No, unfortunately not. One thing I'd like to note is that this Takeda, he had his ultimate, he had one shove left, but he had about 60 to 70% of his ult ready to go in the back pocket once his ultimate expired. That is absurd, truly. He must have managed to get a Firefly whilst in that engagement. I did see Roy Hee. He did something very smart. He used his ultimate and then dashed over to the Firefly spawn, which was right next to that tree. He grabs it to try and just maximize the value from his ultimate, but unfortunately he gets caught in that dreadful whale and has to cancel the ultimate so that he can use his combo breaker on that F ability. Otherwise, the teammates of that player would have just been able to follow up on the Dreadful Whale. Not only does it do so much damage, but it keeps you in place. It prevents you from doing anything unless you have a combo breaker. It's so devastating to a team. The follow-up is absolutely insane.
It's the domino effect too, because they wanted to use the Justina ult with the freeze to set the Yodo ult up, but because it has to be cancelled out early, well, the Yodo has to try and stick the ultimate and find any form of damage, but because you're not a Viper and you don't have that Justina freeze to CC these players in position, it's incredibly easy muscle memory practically for these players to be able to dodge around the Yodo ult.
Exactly. And it looks as though KLA might be going uncontested in this realm of Yang. Oh! And as I say it, I spawned it into existence, ladies and gentlemen. We have FPX coming in to contest KLA. KLA is extremely good. They are extremely stacked right now, but FBX, they are looking pretty healthy as well. I saw a gold weapon there, and here we are, Sand Siphon versus the Transformers. Oh, a huge amount of damage going out onto Water, the Yueishan of this team comp. He does have the gold spear, but he's not going to be able to use it if he gets taken down. The jabbing coming through, doing a bunch of damage, but FBX, Xiaohu opts to go for that Monk ultimate as his teammate does get taken down. Don King, he's looking to try and find this resurrection. If he is able to do so, this might be a salvageable fight. Another grab coming through onto KLAU. Don King, though, he's getting pressured constantly.
The Teva.
Oh! He's just trying to tank it through, and Water's up! He gets up off the ground. Don King says, get up, bro! Get up, let's go! And he goes for the general transformation. He's up and about. He's swinging that spear, and he's trying to peel for his teammate Xiao, who gets caught in the wisp, but not all that much damage comes through. They're trying to follow up KLAU. He takes a considerable amount of damage. The ultimate does not have... Oh, he might have a shove left. Oh, no, he does have... He does not have any shoves left over. It's just the purple tinge from the F1. A huge parry coming through. KLA getting turned on. CXZ taken down. Oh, it's getting so unbelievably close. The general is out of transformation. Don King so unbelievably low. You trying to do something about this jabbing. The jabbing is just so devastating. Water. Oh, and he gets the parry peak! Gets the beautiful parry onto Water. The 180 parry, and KLA come out victorious in this realm of Yang.
Oh my goodness, what a roller coaster!
Oh my.
It looked like jabbing would deny the resurrection because Water evaporated in a span of seconds, but he's able to be brought back up. You're able to stick the res because it's still inside the Karumi ultimate too, so even if the jabbing connects, it's not going to cancel that Teva out. The second your Yushin is brought up, he doesn't have to worry about damage coming through. He can hit the ultimate, he can immediately get the health generation. The problem is they had to throw the ultimates out of cycle because of that pressure coming through from the Yushan the second that he's up, and as a result they don't have the Yushan to try and peel away all of the aggression coming through on both the Karumi and the Tianhai, who without those ultimates are incredibly vulnerable, especially to that jabbing. Jabbing, one of those Soul Jades that is incredibly punishing. It comes out so quickly, and unlike some of these purple Soul Jades or even legendary Soul Jades, there is no change in animation. Right? You can anticipate things like the Soul Slash, you can anticipate things like the Phoenix Burst. Jabbing, it's literally a 50-50 on whether or not you're playing into it. And if you bet on the wrong side, unfortunately you're going home in a body bag.
Absolutely. It is if there's a difference in startup animation, it is a minute difference, because I've been playing for a very long time, and you can definitely see the difference between, let's say for example, Velocity Untold on the nunchucks and the normal horizontal blue focus charge, but jabbing, it's just there's no difference, and it's so unbelievably punishing if you aren't ready for it. If you don't happen to guess or just predict, you can just eat a crazy amount of damage. One of the big things about jabbing, because it's a single hit blue focus, it is just one instance of damage. If you eat that hit, no matter if you have a combo breaker, whatever it might be, you're not going to avoid any of the damage.
Yeah.
With multi-hit attacks, multi-hit blue focus attacks, you can avoid a chunk of the damage with a combo breaker. But jabbing, no. It just shreds you. It just knocks your teeth out.
And if you try and anticipate a jabbing coming through and you flash red at the wrong time, Staff is one of the most punishing weapons to look for that wrong parry, because it's able to go for the 1-2 into uppercut confirmation, into extension. Is talking about extension. OUD looking to extend off of this Viper ultimate. Xiaohu, did he time it? Did he avoid the stun?
No, he did not.
He didn't avoid the stun. He didn't avoid the Tessa Teva. The V1 comes through and connects onto the Monk. However, they don't actually follow up any form of damage on the Tianhai. OUG in full disengage at the moment might get cramped up if they're not anticipating these Monk hands coming through from behind.
Yes, they are in they're in pretty good terrain to try and avoid this Monk pressure. They've managed to make it over to this building. I think that may have been their objective, and they can smell the desperation. Oh my! What a parry coming out from Xiaohu. Unfortunately, he's not able to follow up there, but what a beautiful parry. It does slow down the fight. The velocity I spawned it into existence yet again. Xiaohu, the scale rush from the rafters, eating a huge amount of damage. replying with the dual halberds, horizontal blue, lifting SS into the air, just whiffing this grapple just a tiny bit too short. The desperation is kicking in. Xiaohu, he knows he needs to find a Soul Bloom to cleanse this Yang depletion, or he will just fall over in about 40 seconds. He needs to find it, but there's another team lurking in the wings. KLA, they found a fight. They're looking to engage on FBX with the Viper Ult coming through. OUG the King, he's taken down. No Wu Chen port available. Xiaohu, he's stunned up, but it doesn't matter. Jin Yu gets the parry, but no punish. He tries to find the Soul Bloom instead, but it looks as though it may have cost him his life in the end.
Oh no, he goes for the Monk transformation.
Oh, he
has 12 seconds,
but he has no time.
He has no time. Even if he's able to find a Soul Bloom, he has to drop the Monk ultimate, otherwise he's not going to be able to pick it up. Xiaohu, he knows the writing's on the wall. He goes for the transformation to get their health reset and deny a potential kill as FPX go down. That is so unfortunate. They had the kills, they had the positioning, and the second that they want to move forward and take the Soul Bloom, they get snapped onto with that Viper ultimate that just holds them in position, and they watch as the Soul Bloom vanishes in front of their eyes.
Yes, very unfortunate that KLA was lurking around here, ready for the third party. They're able to come in at the opportune moment and take full advantage of the situation. Speaking of, DRG are looking to do exactly the same thing. They do have ult advantage here. They aren't really winning out in the range weapon battle just yet. They haven't created a huge advantage just yet, but they are looking to engage. Sansi grappling on to CXZ, getting a huge trade, but it's getting traded back. Sansi opts to pop the ultimate. The Timolk ults come out. Both teams trade away. Takeda so unbelievably low. He does get his ultimate up in time. The pulsar damage coming through. The zippings keeping them alive. Yu, he's trading back and forth. The blue focus, the Soul Shatter doing so much. Yu getting popped on the zipping ult. Oh, a huge parry coming in onto Wu Chin, but it doesn't matter, it's negated, and a turn around! KLA CXZ just making it onto the roof of this building. Sansi trying to follow up, trying to chase down Yu, but he's not able to do so. He's not able to close the gap. Every single member of these two teams is just dancing around this building, ballerinas, going up and down, trying their best to create any kind of opening. It looks as though they might be a third party. XCG lurking atop the cliff. They have the altitude, they have the high ground. They send down the Tumulquist, they send down the ranged weapon projectiles, but they're not able to close out a kill, and neither team get taken down just yet.
Pirouette and plie and exit stage left because you are not wanting to stick around after that fight. It went on for so long, and honestly, MVPs for both of those teams go to the zip. The fact that we saw those Takedas fall incredibly low, but we see the peel come through with that zip, able to land the F1 and keep everybody topped up, and the fight going long enough that they have to worry about the third party as OUG's SS has to worry about the fact that he's alone. He was looking to try and play for survival towards the edge of the zone, but he gets spotted out. KLA cleaned that one up. However, prioritizing that kill means that DRG walk away with a Morris Blessing for free. And oh, please tell me that's not Mortal Defiance.
I think it is. I think that indeed is Mortal Defiance, and I think the only way we can really tell here is
if they go low and it procs.
No. You can actually tell now, because I correct me if I'm wrong. If you happen to remember one that meets this criteria, there is only one melee resist Soul Jade that
with
has
one
a charge.
Yes.
I think that might be the case. So I think that indeed is Mortal Defiance, a lovely Jade to be picking up at this stage of the game when you're fully stacked up going into the end game. Speaking of, we are going into the end game, and you know what that means. It is time to pull out those cannons. It is time to pull out those bows, and you're just looking to try and create any opening that you can. You looking around, he's got that gold pulse sword on the Takeda. That is going to do so much damage if he's able to create an opening without risking all that much. Able to come in with a third party, that is going to be huge. LXH, oh, so close. He gets caught by the Tumulquist, but unfortunately for the opposing team, they weren't able to shred his armor.
Oh, KLA are gatekeeping. They've got control of the high ground. All of these other teams are going to have to push into them, and especially when you have, like you pointed out, that legendary pole sword, getting to play around these cliffs, which normally would unfortunately make it a lot harder for some of those combo extensions. Perfect setup for those scale rushes to be able to come through, and that legendary pole sword to just chunk your health down as quickly as possible. As we have 9 players in the lobby, a little bit of a lull time as everyone just stoops, fixes those cannons, and starts to try and keep applying the fire tick for as long as possible, because that's going to push these zips into overcommitting abilities, and that's when we're going to see all of the action kick off.
Absolutely. But look at this final circle. We yet again have 3 teams left alive, ladies and gentlemen. XCG only have 0.1% win percentage or prediction. Curiously, I don't know. They're in a pretty good position right here.
They've only got 3 kills though.
Oh, it's for the MVP. Okay, that makes much more sense. Yeah, no, brain fart there. It does make sense. They don't have all that many kills.
I mean, KLA are on 18.
Yes, exactly.
They're about to drop a 20 bomb.
What on earth? If they manage to get that, that is going to be so unbelievably good for them. DRG, though, they are, oh my lord, they are absolutely getting obliterated by these cannon shots from above, forced to use that Tumulk ultimate and the Takeda ultimate just to stay alive. It looks as though the zipping ult also was popped to try and peel so that they could stay alive. KLA now getting pressured a considerable amount. Yu sends out those swings from the gold pulse sword. He does have his ultimate activated, but he's not got all that much health and armor to play with. He needs to try and find some way to heal. KLA CXZ, he's doing an extremely good job of peeling for his teammates to buy them enough time so that they can heal up. Sansi, he's getting juggled into the zone. The Mortal Defiance coming in! He stays alive! He's still going, he's still chugging away, but Peak, he does meet his end at the edge of the zone. NiHQ, he does manage to get over there and pick up that Soul Bloom, topping himself up. KLA CXZ though, oh, a huge jump parry, the turnaround into the long handle weapons. Have another one! He's keeping himself healed up. Oh my, the Merciless coming through, he's turning it around. He does have ultimate available. He's going to be able to throw it out at a moment's notice. Sansi, oh my, jabbing, doing so much work in XCG, obliterating the lobby here.
It's just KLA.
It's cooked, ladies and gentlemen. XCG. Like I said, you know, they're in a pretty good position. They're sat atop the cliff. You know, they've got the high ground. They're going to be able to drop down and dictate the pace of these fights, and they do exactly that.
But they don't take the MVP.
No, they won't take the MVP, but they do get that dub for themselves, getting that multiplier. Speaking of MVPs, KLA. Oh my.
Okay, we have to talk about CXE.
Boogly boogly, ladies and
We
gentlemen.
have to talk about CXE. I cannot wait to see how much damage is going to come in off of that staff. And I love the fact that we've moved away from everyone sort of revealing their hand prematurely in terms of those Soul Jades. Everyone sits on the fact that they have that Dreadful, that Merciless Havoc. Everyone wants to try and conceal the fact that they have those Soul Jades of Destiny so that people aren't anticipating having to fight into it when the fight actually kites towards the outer edges of the zone. It's only the Mortal Defiance that kicks in to save DRG Sansi's life, because he gets juggled up and he stays there for so long that I think we actually cycle through 2 usages of that Z-Ping F1 from his side.
That was insane. Insanity. So many parries going back and forth. That's a Mulk! He's got eyes in the back of his head. That long handle weapon sap keeping him alive for so long, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. KLA, they are going to take this dub. They got a chunky number of kills and a chunky number of points to get themselves higher and further in the lead. If they can get enough points today, they can relax just a little bit, you know? It's not about, you know, being able to get a lot of points and get themselves up high on the leaderboard. It does provide them a little bit of a cushion so that if they have a bad game, it's not the end of the world. They don't have to go into that desperation mode where they're desperately trying to find as many kills as possible, create as many situations where they can get kills. That typically they wouldn't want to go for. You don't want to force bad situations. You don't want to force trying to engage on a team, and that is exactly why Yang depletion is so devastating, because it forces you to try and like create an opportunity when it's something that you would never do without that.
And then you have to commit to it, even
Yeah,
if it starts going wrong, even if another team shows up and you've burned all of your ultimates in the first opening of the fight and you still haven't been able to find a kill, you have to continue just committing to that chase, committing to that fight, and you don't have the information. If they start disengaging, you have to keep the chase up. You can run into another team entirely. And something that we have to talk about is the fact that these teams, because they're getting so aggressive so quickly off of the bat, everyone dropping in very clustered spaces, even if they find original kills in the opening zone, they don't get to leave the Yang blooms. They don't get to leave the soul blooms because they are so worried that another team is going to roll on up and take them. And when you're playing Immortal War and you leave 3 soul blooms out in the open for something like a Tessa to come along when she only needs 55% to actually be able to utilize that ultimate, that's a risk you're not willing to take. So it puts even more pressure on being able to win out this realm of Yangs.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to go in with a plan. If you're going into the realm of Yang desperate and you're not all that geared up, you're still on the blue armors, you only got the blue weapons in the back pocket, you have to pull something out of a hat. You have to be able to come away with it, as the Yang depletion is it just forces you to do silly things that you don't want to do. Like
FPX.
Yeah, like jumping in and just no-brain W key ooga booga, you know, the suboptimal ooga booga, and then there's optimal. You don't want the suboptimal. That's for ranked, okay? That's Tarka in trios in ranked, you know?
I think that's another huge reason why Sand Siphon was able to rise to prominence over Transformer, because if you have Yang depletion, you have the sustainability and you also have the peel avenues available on all of your hero kits, right? Takeda can shove and create space, Samoj can use the wisps to be able to block the bodies and make sure you're able to scoot on over and pick up the bloom, as opposed to the Transformer. If you want to use the TN Hide to try and absorb all of that damage and threat, you have to cancel the ultimate out early if you want to actually be able to pick up the bloom. And it just means that you're, again, really vulnerable in comparison to Sand Siphon that gets away with that problem for pretty much free.
Absolutely. One thing I did want to touch on today is that recently, well, not all that recently now, it's been a little while, but coins. So in your glyphs, you can choose a number of different things to take. You've got your rage per second, perhaps, your stamina per second, etc. One of the really useful glyphs that you can utilize is Dark Tide coins per second, allowing you to generate coins over time. But we will touch more on that in a moment. Here we are with the scoreboard of this game, and KLA with the 20 bomb, absolutely decimating this lobby. 30.5 points.
Explosive
wow.
stuff. Explosive stuff coming through from them. You also have to remember as well, these are downsized lobbies. These are not like the lobbies of old where we have 16 teams in one lobby. No, we have 12. So the fact that you're able to get anywhere close to a 20 bomb is absolutely insane. And look at these numbers. Oh my goodness, they are absolutely insane. CXE coming in with 36,000 damage. And Duncan, I would bet a good 17,000 of that is going to be off staff. Actually, maybe dual halberds, because he was doing a lot of work with those too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He was doing a lot of work. But, oh, look at that. The healing on the zipping matching up pretty nicely with that damage. You know, you might think, oh, zipping's a support. She doesn't do damage. No, ladies and gentlemen, zipping is able to output a considerable amount of damage, as she has that extra dodge and is able to stay topped up very, very often. But here we are looking at the total leaderboard, the total standings so far for the day. We have IDC currently sitting in the bottom position, NTL, Lobby 28, 521, HLG, CDGG, all in the bottom half of this leaderboard. NTL and IDC definitely need to try and find some way to pick it up and try and accelerate their fights, their games. They've been caught in really rough positions. They've been caught in really unfortunate situations. But how is that not happening to these other teams? There is something that needs to click for them to accelerate and try and match up with these teams. XCG though, oh my, they are sitting atop the leaderboard, 67.1 and OUG 59.3. Yeah, pretty
They've
healthy
got a
up
safety
there.
cushion. They're going to be really happy they have a safety cushion, and you're dealing with a lot of curveballs, right? A lot of these players, especially the CN side, haven't really got to experience that professional side of Naraka since we last closed NVPL Season 2. There has been a huge off-season for meta to be developed and redefined, and it's still being redefined. As we can have a look at how exactly this last match was defined, there it is. DRG deciding to face tank through the damage of that Bane's Breath drop. A lot of the time we don't talk about how detrimental it can be that a player has to be so far behind to actually set it up that a lot of the time teams just immediately run in and take a fight 3 versus 2 before it can come in, as DRG's Illusion coming in with some absolute gorgeous heal. Absolutely insane stuff. Now we get to see that Dreadful Whale. It feels like it's not a Naraka Blade Point lobby if we don't see Dreadful Whale and the lockdown of players being caught in the middle.
Oh my, the blender right here as they drop down. Lexan doing a really good job of staying alive long enough for him to be able to get that ultimate back up. But then the Wisp coming in from CXZ. Oh, into those dual halberds, just shredding them. XCG here, dropping down from that high ground. Look at this, dictating the pace of this fight, able to come in as the third party. And literally just look at this cannon damage.
Yeah.
They don't even have to fully commit into position 1 to truly get any of these kills. They get so much value from having just simply been in the optimal position to start with.
I was right!
There it is. There it is. 17.3 thousand damage, ladies and gentlemen, from that staff with that jabbing, Merciless Havoc, and long handle weapon stab, and the Juggernaut as well.
Look at the cannon too.
The cannon with
10,000. That's something that a lot of these teams were actually using as well, especially in the final zone when those zones were collapsing in, especially if you have that Takeda, right? You have the Flames Breath, you come in on the backside, you pressure with the cannon, you force them into using so much of their stamina that they just do not have anything left in the tank to be able to dodge away from the Sphere and Shoves, and they eat that damage, but also because their back is so close behind the zone, they go into the Corruption Tick damage and still don't have the stamina to be able to tap dodge back into safety.
No, absolutely. One of the lovely things about the recent Soul Jade change, which I have to say, I love the recent Soul Jade change. I think it's one of the best changes they've made. Good job. But we will touch on that again in a moment. You know the drill, ladies and gentlemen. Answer for treasures. If you haven't been here before, all you have to do is answer this question. Put your answer into Twitch chat. The question is, which team will win the survival ranking this match? If identical, the one with the most remaining HP will win. Is it A, DRG, B, KLA, C, XCG, or D, VNGC? Make sure to put your answer into Twitch chat and keep an eye out on the chat and in your whispers, as you will be selected at random from the list of people who put your answers into the chat. Don't be the guy who misses out on the rewards because you went to the loo or you went to get a drink. Sit there just for a few minutes, all right?
Yeah. A little bit of patience is going to go a long way, but you know what? We'll be going a little bit away for just a matter of moments. We'll be right back after this.
แนะนำตัวเองว่ามาจากประเทศอะไรมาจากประเทศไทยครับผมชื่อมอสหรือในเกมก็คือทาโนจิครับเคยมาที่ประเทศจีนไหมถ้าไม่เคยมารู้สึกยังไงก็ไม่เคยมาครับก็รู้สึกตื่นเต้นครับแล้วก็รู้สึกว่าเป็นประสบการณ์ที่ดีต่างจากที่อยู่ประเทศไทยมากที่มานี่เราอยากเจอมากที่สุดน่าจะเป็น OUG ไม่ก็ TE ครับถ้าเป็นโซโล่เนี่ยอยากเจอ WBG Spider มากที่สุดครับผมว่าทั้งอาวุธใหม่แล้วก็ตัวละครใหม่ค่อนข้างที่จะส่งผลมากเพราะว่าอาวุธใหม่เนี่ยเป็นใครๆก็ใช้ได้แล้วก็อีกทั้งเป็นอาวุธที่แข็งแกร่งมากด้วยส่วนในตัวละครใหม่ผมว่าเป็นตัวละครที่ดีในโซโล่แต่สำหรับหมวดทีมต้องดูกันไปก่อนมีอะไรอยากจะบอกกับทีมของตัวเองไหมครับก็แค่อยากให้ขยันซ้อมมากขึ้นแล้วก็ตั้งใจซ้อมผมเชื่อว่าทีมผม สามารถไปไฟนอลได้ในรอบไฟนอลเนี่ยมีหนึ่งที่แล้วก็คือทีมผมครับ
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After that short break, Shanghai in the night. Oh my!
In person.
It's so beautiful, and we're here in Shanghai as well.
Yeah. we can
It's
touch,
amazing.
we can see the trophy. It's not the
Yes.
actual trophy. It's also not to scale.
No,
'Cause
it's not to scale. It's not this big, you know.
I could not want to try and fit that through airport security.
Oh no, that would be a tough one.
Statement piece though to have in like the front hall of the house. Like,
True.
ah yes,
That would
here
be
is
very cool.
Here is my lovely trophy.
Look at this. But yes, we did have that quick little video from Team 228 Tenoshi talking about how the key to victory is hard work and practice. Diligence. I could not agree more. And I mean, I think everybody who is here in this tournament has been doing exactly that, putting in all the hours that they can. But here we are, again, you know the drill, we've been doing it for a day, you know, if you don't, make sure to go into your client on the website so that you are able to put your predictions in for the following game. Which of the following two teams will achieve the highest score in this match? Will it be A, IDC, or B, NTL? NA versus EU, ladies and gentlemen. Who is going to come out on top? Make sure to get your predictions in so that you have a chance at winning some cheeky goodies for yourself, including the J-Cup banner. Skin, sorry.
Spear skin.
There aren't that many banner skins, and they do look very nice. But hey, back to the action. What are we going to be seeing here, do you think, Foxy?
We're still waiting to see a lot of those Farrier picks come through. We've seen a lot of Transformer, a lot of Sand Siphon, a lot of Viper with Tessa. And we do still have the old hero point rule. Our solos hero rule has been changed up entirely. You still have to play 5 different heroes per day, but you've also got all of the pool changes coming through where if too many people pick the hero that you want in the phase before, you actually don't get the opportunity to use it. In trios, however, it's still the same old 12 hero point rule, where the first time you use a hero, it's absolutely free, but the more times you lock that hero in, the more expensive it becomes, and as a result, you have to be so careful about when you want to utilize these top meta compositions.
Absolutely. You have to be very decisive and you have to have a plan. And I'm sure many a team does, including KLA. These absolute ooga booglers, they came away, ooh, rocking. They're vibing after that game just now. They are very happy with themselves, sitting very comfortably, I would have to say. But yes, I'm hoping that we will see a little bit of Farrier, because Farrier, as a lot of you may know, has recently received a few changes which have increased her power and potential. They've made it so that once you transform, once you change forms within the mech to that turret form, you're able to shoot or you're able to act much, much faster. So if you get that stomp, if you get that knock up, when you transform into turret mode, you're able to immediately swing around and shoot that player, and then that inherently would then allow for follow-up from teammates. Farrier did originally have quite a bit of potential, and she did see a decent amount of play back quite a while ago now. We haven't seen her for a while.
That was what, January that she released?
I can't remember. It's been a while. It's been a while. But yes, it would be nice to see her come back and see a little bit of a change in the meta. You know, we've definitely seen a little bit of a change with Yoto, Justina, Yueshan. Very interesting composition. I've heard talks of Farrier being involved. We're gonna have to wait and see. But maybe there might be something extra spicy that we may in fact see a Paddy pick?
This is something that we on the caster side, we have been having a lot of in-depth discussions about where we think Hardy could potentially slot into trios. I think he has really good synergy with Karumi, but again, the problem becomes how do you disengage, how do you cover for yourself once the ultimate is removed. You're not going for Yueshan, you're definitely not going to be touching Zip Takeda or Tumult, and I really do think it's going to be just waiting for the next hero to come through as I say.
Wait,
that.
what?
Oh!
No way!
Do you know how long have you been waiting for a fire dog to pop up and you get two?
No! How do you do me like this?
Duncan's on the floor, by the way. I will give you the visual audio. Duncan is on the floor. His head is in his hands. He got baited into thinking that he was getting a honey and a Tarka composition.
Han, how can you do me like this, Big Doug? You hover the Tarka, Cuckoo, you hover the honey, and then you just swap. Oh my.
It's like, honestly, you see a kid and they get told that like Santa Claus isn't real. That was the expression on your face. It just shattered the moment that they moved away.
Oh, I'm so sad. That would have been. I have no words. I have no words. That would have been incredible.
Well, you're gonna have to find your words because we're heading into the second last game of the day.
Oh my. Well, yes, we are going into our second last game of the day, rather, with XCG going over down to the city of Tang, all on their lonesome in that hot drop, that gold area, that high tier loot zone. They're going to be able to loot up a considerable amount and then potentially look to go hunting, create themselves a nice little looting into a hunting path. But it looks like we've got a bit of oogly boogliness going on over in Plume Castle. We have IDC, VNGC, and I didn't catch that last one, all very, very close together in Plume Castle. But before that, we are heading on over to KLA and 521. You already taking down Pampy. Pampy didn't look like he was in a good situation. You, no armor, but he does not care. He is straight in there. 521 have already lost 2 members, and it looks as though it's going to be a fast trip to the Soul Altar. Ladies and gentlemen, they already take them down, but hey, the action does not stop. CDGG scrapping it out against DRG. They're able to take them down. Having lost a member, they are going to be able to get a res now. And again, more action. Team 28 against HLG over here. A little bit of damage coming out. HLG Cuckoo, so unbelievably low. So low. He was 1 health, and he only has small health pots to be able to heal himself up, unfortunately. Oh my! Ooh, that was a lot of damage, and HLG PPY gets obliterated by that greatsword double charge, and Cuckoo gonna follow suit to, oh, it's going back and forth, so much damage, but it looks as though Team 28 is going to be able to come out on top here, but KLA are coming in for the third party. They are ready to rumble. They're ready to go. They are going in, grappling in. HLG Han, he does have his ultimate available, but it might not be enough. The parry, the turnaround parry, and you gets a pole sword to the face, ladies and gentlemen, but it doesn't look like he's going to stop just yet. He goes in for the grapple, gets the jump parry, but the Takeda ultimate is able to peel away that pressure just for now. Han, though, he's doing an incredibly good job of staying on the move. KLA trying to hold him down. The pole sword applying so much pressure whilst on the move. One of the best weapons to do exactly that, but the stone form, it's not enough to keep him alive.
Do you know what? I have the utmost respect for the fact that HLG, that teammates who had taken down early, stuck around, did not go for the salty run back, because you can actually see a Soul Altar was incredibly close, but they do decide to go for the safest option. They don't go for the salty run back. They make sure even if they do lose those rebuff charms early on, they still have the opportunity to regroup as a team and not get third-partied right off of the altar, as it's going to be KLA coming in with another kill onto 28's guitar, as we're going to be moving over towards Plumed. VNGC mines on that Viper, already utilizes the ultimate, goes for the red flash, but FPX already in the gold focus. Ooh. Coming off of those nunchucks. Mines going to go down to the long shot in the back, coming through from Dunquin, gets the 1-2 into the jump horizontal follow-up, and Roy He follows suit.
Oh, an FPX coming away with a few kills to their name, 5 kills under their belt, and a crazy amount of cash in the bank as well. Water sitting on 22,000 Darktide coins, Don King on 15,000. They're going to be able to head over to that Rift dealer and get themselves some lovely little Soul Jades, a few slots perhaps, maybe gamble on some weapons. For those of you who are not aware, in tournaments, in competitive games, we are playing Immortal War, and one of the key differences from Immortal War and your regular Herald's Trial ranked game mode is that you're able to buy weapons. You're able to buy random melee and range weapons of epic rarity from the shop. And I mean, you might get a purple crossbow. You might get a purple katana, but you're still able to roll for those weapons if your team just doesn't have anything. If you've been sitting there with white weapons and you've got a whole bunch of cash, you're able to go and maybe get something good. Maybe a staff, maybe a fan or a pole sword, perhaps.
Well, it doesn't matter what weapon you get, right? It's the loot tier that you
That
want,
is also,
especially if you're running the
absolutely.
Takeda and the Tianhai. Because
Exactly.
Tianhai, his ultimate damage and health scales off of his own kit. Unfortunately for the Takeda, it's a little bit harder. It scales off of the entirety of the team. So it really is vastly important for these players to try and get as much coins as possible, and it's another reason why we do see a lot of these players running discount, as KLA are going to be running this Moonbane directly into Imperial. KLA CXZ coming in with the right click on that pole sword. Tryhard having to use the Monk ultimate, looking to try to provide a little bit more space for the rest of his team and also have that larger health bar to be able to tank through all of the damage from the Moonbane, as he actually uses that larger hitbox of the Monk form to be able to block the damage coming through from KLA and allow the rest of his team to disengage. But now he's out of the ultimate. He's vulnerable. NTL are a little bit too far away to intercept. It's immediately going to be Ski now, who's getting jumped on by Peak. The Karumi able to use the tether to be able to reposition, but it goes directly into you, and Tryhard gets punted away by the Takeda shoves.
This is not looking too good, but they are able to turn it around somewhat. The Yueishan ultimate has been popped by Hero. He was put under a decent amount of pressure there. Oh, a huge slam coming in onto CXZ and to Peak, doing a considerable amount of damage. Another one being traded back onto Tryhard. He loses all of his remaining armor. It looks as though Ski is still holding onto that Karumi ultimate, so they aren't dead just yet. They still have some resources available. Hero is trying to get as much value out of his ultimate as possible, but he may have bitten off more than he could chew. He jumped in with his ultimate, having just a second left, and Ski, he tries to jump in, he tries to get in there to get that peel, get him healed up with the Karumi ultimate, but it wasn't enough, and he gets taken down. Tryhard getting a huge, beautiful parry. It looks as though Hero has been told that it is a winnable fight. He gets sent straight to the Soul Altar so that he can get the res of Tryhard. He's parrying people left and right. Ski, so unbelievably low. He does get taken down. Hero, having just come back from the res, back from the dead, only had white armor, and he too has been taken down extremely low. Tryhard, he's trying his best, is true to his name. He's doing as much work as he possibly can. Hero now getting pressured by you. You still has these shoves, and he gets taken down. There's very little he can do, but Tryhard, the huge grab from afar, I don't think it's going to be enough to save this situation. Unfortunately, he does have his res. Ski also in that soul form. He's going to be able to go away and res alongside his teammate, but KLA going to be able to pick up NTL.
IDC now coming in with a huge Viper ultimate looking to land onto DRG. However, they're not able to use it to save Zay. Wujin takes him down. We're going to see the Tianhai holding onto the ultimate. The Karumi healing circle actually coming through to allow DRG to hold that forward aggressive position even with the Viper ultimate coming on out, knowing they're going to be able to out-sustain, and even if the fight gets kited away to a different section of Matad, they're going to be able to use the recast as Brandoro on that Tessa has no choice but to try and find any salvage of the situation with the V1 from the Tessa, and it's not to be. DRG off of only the Karumi ultimate able to find the fight win, and now we're going to be seeing everyone playing towards the outer edges of the no ult zone. Tessa Teva coming on through. Xiaonan going to use the snap to come in with that Viper V1, looking to try to stun some of these players. Not going to be able to find any connection onto the stun, however, and now has to be careful with KLA's U moving into the forward position, has that purple staff. Xiaonan cannot afford to get scooped up into the gold focus.
No, definitely not. He cannot risk it. Xiaonan, he's still putting on the pressure. He's trying to find an engagement. Ooh, the Tessa ultimate, I don't think it did in fact connect onto a player, or at least they've managed to cleanse the tether very quickly. Xiaonan getting taken down extremely low. He gets lifted by that staff. Unfortunately, Wu Chen has had his ult placed down. He's ready to press that button, and he gets his teammate out of danger. Very nicely done, OUG.
I think they put into the purple bush too, so it actually obscured where the Wu Chen teleport went out.
I think it might have, you are right. We do have the snowstorm lurking around just on the edge. OUG have managed to get themselves a little tan. They've gone to that fire, they've gone to the little fire pit, and they have that buff that prevents them from losing their ultimate charge within that snowstorm. The NGC have managed to do the same as well, so they are able to lurk around in this area and keep their ultimates. It also just appeared on the screen, NTL Tryhard was able to secure a rebirth charm for Hero so that he can pick up his teammate. And this is something that I started talking about and I wanted to touch on later on, is that Darktide coins per second, alongside discount, I might add, is an extremely powerful tool, extremely useful glyph setup, so that let's say you do get taken down relatively early, you have these coins ticking away, constantly regenerating, and you're able to potentially buy these rebirth charms. As long as they haven't already all been bought up, you're able to go away and pick them up. If, on the other hand, you don't die early and you simply manage to get a cheeky, like a few kills, 3, maybe 4, nothing too crazy, but you have these Darktide coins just ticking over again. You're able to go to the Darktide dealer, the Rift dealer, and get a considerable amount of value out of that money with the random weapons that we talked about at the beginning of the game, as well as the Soul Jades. Soul Jades being such an important factor in a lot of these fights. And one of the differences as well in Immortal War is that the Soul Jades, the random Soul Jades, are guaranteed to be of epic rarity, minimum, which is super valuable. But here we are, Pampy, taking a considerable amount of damage, trying to grapple away from this team who do have this buff. They're not looking to take this fight, but they are being forced into this situation, caught between a rock and a sandstorm. Pampy, he does have one shove left. He goes for the parry. He sends out the shove, gets the slam with the vertical blue focus on the pulse sword. He's trying to stone form. He's trying to avoid these light attacks. He's used that F1, but it's not going to be enough, and he does get pushed up against this fence and taken down. Miskia also doing extremely a lot of work with this gold fan, I might add. Gold fan with Takeda is devastating.
It was a dagger too.
Oh, it was a dagger changed into a fan?
It was a dagger, and he went, grabbed that crafting hammer up over towards Yuetian Ruins and changed it to a fan. I think GG actually were able to win a Realm of Yang for free.
Oh, really?
Because the Realm of Yang spawned on up, and we saw 2 teams running Vermilion Birds. I believe actually GG just killed the other team that had that buff, and GG now walking away with that Vermilion Birds Might and free Realm of Yang must have been able to get their hands on a legendary dagger as a result, as we're going to see Misky going incredibly low. Both the Tessa and the Viper making it incredibly hard for them to be able to work around those 2 chains of stagger, and it really is absolutely awkward when you're running into that Tessa, into the Viper, especially if you're trying to dodge around either, because the Tessa gets to punish. This is why the synergy is so good. Normally the way that you actually run away and deal with that Viper ultimate is by blocking line of sight entirely, but Tessa ult goes through line of sight. You can throw it on one side of the building and still find the connection. So if you use the Tessa ult first, the Viper can then chase in with the ultimate, and because you're enchanted in the V1, you don't have the opportunity to play around it.
No, absolutely. Having that value come through, you can just throw your Tessa ultimate through terrain. It's so valuable. Oh, it looks as though Sansi may have bitten off a bit more than he can chew. He jumps right in, sends the blue, and gets parried, eating a whole bunch of damage. His Karumi is keeping him topped up, keeping him healthy with that damage reduction. We've got the Viper ult coming out now. Guitar, he's trying to find the stun. He's not really able to get any stuns here, as Wuxing does manage to iframe through the stun, but Corki does get taken down. He's trying to tap dodge away from these grabs. He almost gets slammed into the ground by that monk, but fortunately the monk does get shredded down by the repeating crossbow from the third party, and he avoids taking a chunky bit of damage from that double grab. HLG Han, though, very happy with himself, coming in, picking up a cheeky kill. Not too shabby. Ooh.
Sansi's got 1 Vitalia.
Fancy.
He doesn't have the heals to play in towards this zone as long as he's going to be trying to get away from HLG's attention. The problem is that HLD, they know that one of those players is still around, and you can actually see they're going to be holding that position. Sandy might be able to actually stick the revive, but with only one Vitalia, I don't know if he's going to be able to survive the corruption tick damage, slowly chunking him down.
No, it's going to be difficult. They might be able to do it. They might be able to make it if they chain the resurrections and constantly resurrect each other as they go down.
How we
one
say
after
pulling
another.
a GG.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Well, here we are, just to the northwest of Plume. XCG on the chase. Roy Hee extremely low, having been taken down, and the Wu Chen from VNGC teleporting them out to get them out of danger. Roy he does manage to get that shield pot off, or he found an armor swap, something along those lines. They get the stun, as Xiaonan wasn't able to get his Viper ult off earlier. He did go second, meaning that he got stunned up just before his managed to pop. But thankfully the Wu Chen is able to come in and teleport him out. Oh no, mines! Whoo! Just managing to avoid the Tessa ultimate there, doesn't get caught up in it. Roy Hee drops down with the F3 on the Yoto, sending those horizontal blue focuses, trying to peel, but he gets taken down. Again now, VNGC just falling apart here, unfortunately. Just really, really rough situation. NiHQ having that ultimate up all the time. Oh, you're joking. Surely not.
There's no way they get a second Realm of Yang. But no, when we're talking about that attack comparison to Tessa, Tessa sits on top of the food chain, because when you rubber band back into those fights, you get to still cast an ultimate the second the fight goes back into motion with that 55%, as opposed to the Yodo, who has to sit and wait for the 100. Even if she cancels her ult early, you're still only going to be keeping a slither of rage, as opposed to the Tessa, who just gets a couple of hits in and can immediately come back in with the V1, and off of that stun and opening immediately lock you down a kill.
Exactly. I don't know.
Tessa, they got it for free!
Oh no!
That's another legendary weapon for GG.
I think it's possible that due to the fact there are so many teams running that Tumulk has been a character that has been very, well, he's been very, very good and utilized for a very long time to secure Morris blessings. And quite a few of these teams have just simply been avoiding Yang completely, as they know that there are these Viper Tessa compositions lurking around those portals to try and prevent these teams from going in, griefing them, holding them at the portal, and trying to take them down, or just picking off one member and assassinate them. So a lot of these Tumulk teams might simply just not want to go into the Realm of Yang and look to go for these Morrises. But at the same time, certain teams are just getting away for free, just getting these gold weapons and mystic mites for free.
And the damage reduction, because then they can roll up onto those Morris blessings, and even if they're not finding a kill, they can instigate a fight, so that those Tumultuous have to use their ultimate early to be able to control the Morris blessing. And something unique about the Tumult ultimate is, when one Tumult ults, you can use your own Tumult ultimate to be able to walk directly through it. So even though we have a vast majority of the compositions in this lobby being Sand Siphon, that's not actually a good thing. It's not like Transformers, where the more Transformers you're able to play off of the damage done by other monks, look to try and find those revo grabs off of someone's already slam, and just chunk enough damage done to be able to translate into a kill.
Yeah, exactly. It looks as though, I think that was GG with the challenge bounty, I think it was. They were just sort of lurking around, and they had this challenge bounty, or it was another bounty, I'm not 100% sure, but it did just pop, and I think they were lurking, waiting on the shop, ready to spend that money.
We got a second snowstorm.
We did indeed, yeah, I was gonna say, there's a lot of snow on the northern side of the map. Multiple snowstorms. These weather effects are exclusive to Holoroth, but they do, for sure, make things pretty interesting, as they can heavily impact anything that goes on within them.
I love snowstorms in the final hours. You have that chill meter, and if it goes past 50%, it starts sapping the rage. So a lot of the time, we actually see players go into the corruption tick damage to activate those campfires, those bonfires, and manage to just live through that chill meter. Or everyone actually pops their ultimate early, because it doesn't sap the duration of the ultimate. If you pop the ultimate, it doesn't immediately lower the duration like something like a Takeda or an Akos.
No, exactly. you also can potentially get lucky just happening to walk past one of those little fire pits. There are these fire pits that are marked on the map on Holoroth that if you go over to, you can just interact with them, and it will give you this buff. As you can see right here, in fact. Thank you, FPX.
They got some s'mores, they got some barbecue.
Yeah, exactly.
They've definitely got flame breath from one of those cannons.
Exactly. They've been cooking up some burgers. But as you can see, this little square, the red square with the sun icon inside of it, this little buff, it prevents you from having that debuff effect occur when you are inside these snowstorms. Very, very useful. If you happen to walk past one, just pick it up. You know, you never know. The snowstorm might come in and you might be caught out of position and not able to rotate round to a fire pit.
There's reason to go into the weather effect too, because it actually regenerates all of the troves in the area when a weather effect comes through. So for all of these players who are behind in terms of that loot scaling, they've been able to go into that snowstorm with that campfire buff, open all of those troves, stack up so many coins to be able to go to these dealers and roll to try and stack and push into final zone as NTL. Oh, that is going to be a lot of pressure coming through from XCG. We're going to see Stanchion Skypillar come through from Hero, but he's not able to use it to escape the grapple cancel. The Kurumi Tether does come through. They're running directly into the snowstorm. XCG do not have the campfire buff, but they're still looking to chase. No, they go directly over a bonfire.
They get it. They just manage it. XCG, they're chasing them into the snowstorm. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to find the confirmation with that Viper F, with the Viper Silence, but they do realize that they're chasing further into the blizzard, so they thankfully are able to go over and pick up that fire pit buff so that they can continue to stay within this high traffic area. We have FPX sitting on top of the tower, 5-2-1, lurking at the edge of the frozen lake. XCG making their way across. We have GG coming up behind from the west here as well, looking to rotate, sitting at the edge of this frozen lake. So many teams are lurking around this challenge bounty team. OUG sitting on the north side. KLA a little bit to the north of them as well. GG potentially here could actually get flanked by HLG. If they get caught out, it could be pretty rough at FPX. They're posturing to try and secure this Morris Blessing for themselves. They do have that Tumulk ultimate available.
They've got the Dreadful.
Yeah, oh, really?
They have Dreadful. They were showing it off when they were sitting on that middle tower. They're going to try and open it. But you can actually see Xiaohu taking a lot of pressure coming through. There's the Tumult ultimate. He wanted to see whether or not he would make away with it for free, or if he had to invest. What a parry coming through to stop that Phoenix Blast coming on out from OUG. It does go through the Tumult ultimate, and it has griefed so many players in the past when they've tried to use that Tumult ultimate to open up a Morris Blessing for free.
Very nicely done. Not too hasty. They don't jump in immediately. They bide their time just for a moment. Get that Tumulk ult down once they realize that there are players looking at their direction, and they secure that Morris Blessing, that gold armor for that Takeda, their frontline, their Oogler, Oog SS OUG, one of my favorite teams, I have to say. Absolute Ooglers. Oh, how many gold chains? That's 5 out of 6 of OUG SS's Jade slots that are gold. Oh, I'm pretty sure that is Mortal Defiance as well up there on the right. So OUG SS, he's not going to be going down without a fight, especially with that gold armor that he's just picked up.
Especially because it stacks with the Zip ultimate as well. You can have Sedated Soul, you can have Mortal Defiance, and it saves you twice as LXH is definitely going to need a lot of saving right now. It's taking so much damage coming through from all of these teams posturing up to try and control that high ground. LXH will be able to dip back behind his Wuchan wall, get that shield, get that reset, and look to try and hold on to this high ground, which is going to be paramount to set Xiaonan up on this Viper drop.
No, absolutely. Positioning is going to be very key in this final zone. If you're able to potentially section off a little bit of a cliffside, not get caught falling down it. As we all know, terrain is one of your biggest enemies in the ranked. If you get stuck in that sliding animation, you could potentially just get cooked. You know, the buttery rocks, nice and buttery. You're ready to go into the pan, into the fryer. Speaking of going into the fryer, NTL Hero taking a bit of damage alongside Ski, getting peppered by these flame breath cannons. Oh, the butterflies, the ice butterflies. Freezing Ski on the way into the zone, getting cooked. He's forced to use the Kurumi ultimate and he's caught out of position and taken down. This is possibly the worst possible thing to happen in this kind of situation. You never want your Kurumi to get taken down going into your endgame. If your Kurumi stays alive, your Tianhai and Yueshan can always potentially stay alive and get rezzed if they get taken down. Tryhard biding his time. Oh, I think he's down to the zone. Oh! By the skin of his...
GG no, though. They spotted him behind the building.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They know he's there.
Oh, he's
like
on the move. I can see it on the map. He's on the move.
He's having to run. GG are trying to track him down. We're going to have another snowstorm starting to hit, and I don't think we have any campfires left out. As Tryhard does go down to the musket coming through from OUG. Xiaonan still trying to hold on to this high ground. Does look like they actually were forced into using that Viper ultimate to carve that safe space. As the hero is not in a safe space at all, he gets spotted out. Unique from 5-1 with the repeating crossbow, proccing that Venom tip, and NTL are locked out of this lobby without a kill once more.
It feels as though it's time and time again at the moment for both NTL and IDC. It seems they get caught in really horrible situations where they're just caught out of position when they don't have all that many resources, they don't have all that many just things to play with. You know, they don't have good armors, they don't have good jades, and they make one positioning mistake and they get taken down. It gets fully punished, and that's one of the things that does separate the Chinese region, the CN region and MBPL environment, is that if you do make a mistake, it gets punished far more efficiently and far more often. If you're playing in these other regions, there are going to be teams that just aren't as fast to pull that trigger. You know, they're ready at any moment to pull the trigger and punish you for the mistakes that you make.
Well, now we're going to see FPX Donkwing with that legendary armor looking to try and scale rush, making sure that he doesn't get stuck on side those buttery rocks. KLA not in a great position at the moment, Duncan. They're positioned directly in the middle of all of these other teams. They do have those rocks to drop back onto, but the problem is if they try and drop, they go into OUG. 5-2-1 once again with the repeating crossbow, melting Xiaohu. The difference is water is still on that Z-Ping, can try and use the F1 to set up a potential revive if they want to be able to get that damage carry back into the mix. KLA going to come in with that purple fan, just trying to utilize how fast the RMB falls through. There we see it, Dreadful Will coming through from water to be able to use the hyper armor to block the damage onto Donkwing that would have cancelled the revive, but Xiaohu still is not picked up, and we're going to see Donkwing having to invest so many of the Takeda shells to actually keep himself alive.
Oh my lord. He has gone sky high very quickly, losing so much of his health. OUG getting oogly, sending Unique back to the lobby, getting thrown into the zone by that longsword, doing so much damage. KLA in the mix. The grab coming through from SS, the F1 grab. Don't blue focus the Takeda, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to get slammed into the ground. Give SS a means of coming back into this fight. The tumult, oh no, the Takeda, the shoves, so much damage, the Phoenix Blast doing so much work. SS able to dip into the zone, he picks up that Soul Bloom and he's gonna look for this res. Whoa, the scale rush coming in from KLA Peak, but he's getting stuck. This is not the place you want to be. This is the blender. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get stuck down here, you are going to get taken down. SS, he's desperately trying to make it into the zone. The Mortal Defiance coming in, saving him once again, but unfortunately he is stuck sliding, and there he is, OUG SS getting taken down. Unfortunately, he's simply not able to make it through the sand. The buttery rocks, it is simply too much for him. Oh my lord. Oh, HLG. falling apart at the edge of the zone as well.
HLG's hand having to grapple in towards, I don't think GG actually spotted him. Miskia going to be going into the zone corruption tick to be able to pick up that Soul Bloom and try and keep as much of the rage as possible. 8 players left in the lobby. OUG's the king playing out of sight on the tree. LXM might have spotted him out, and he's going to have to commit as HLG's hand decides he wants that free real estate and decides to move on in instead. GG's Miskia coming in with that legendary fan, going to be looking to do so much damage. Wu Chen Windwall coming out from on top of the team of 28. They've still got that Tessa ultimate if they really feel pressured enough to use it. The wind spout coming on through, thrown on repeat, so none of these teams can keep themselves on the high ground and are taking so much damage from everyone stuck below. Everyone trying to pressure in with those grapples, looking to try and land that flamer to fire tick to keep this team in check, but so far no one has been able to oust 28 from that position.
Oh. This terrain is so difficult to manage. HLG Han desperately trying to stay alive. He's so unbelievably low. He's got no arm. And there it is. He does get taken down. OUG the king in a very similar position. The fire tick is ticking away, and it looks as though he's going to get taken down as well by the fire arrows, it seems. 28 guitar. Oh my. The Smoke Wisp. The tornadoes coming in from the Tumulk and from Miskia, and another set of whirlwinds sending Team 28 Gump back to the lobby. Ladies and gentlemen, what a game.
Same stage, different tournament, same GG on Holoroth Game 5.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, I was talking to you about this. I said, I don't know whether or not GG are going to be able to set up that insane dominant position they always pull on Holoroth Game 5, especially with the changes coming through in terms of the map differentials. But it really does feel like GG just have Holoroth on absolute lock. They know how to play the terrain. They know how best to equip themselves with the soldiers to take advantage of said terrain. In fact, of all of the teams that we see, both on the J-Cup stage and also in the NBPL stage, it really does feel like GG are the best at taking advantage of those vertical final zones where they're able to come in with those Soul Jades and the Cicada shoves and just keep punishing players as they try and climb to safety.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunate, Team 28 were not able to do the same. Gump getting taken down at the very end there. Guitar as well, getting caught up in that Tumulk Sand Wisp and just eating the Wild Wind Spout, the tornado from the fan. One of the newly added Soul Jades and weapons to the game. Whew. It is devastating. This Jade, I talked about it yesterday. I'm going to talk about it again today. The first tornado comes out so quickly, so fast, it knocks you up. And then the second tornado coming in gets that follow-up. You can potentially look for a follow-up from your teammates if you're playing team modes. Or I'm pretty sure as well that you can look for a ranged weapon follow-up as well. If you're just on your own, on your lonesome, throwing out those tornadoes left and right. One problem with it though, which does get seen sometimes, is that if you manage to iframe, dodge the first tornado, and you're able to get in position to parry the second, it can be very difficult. So you don't want to throw it out too willing. You don't want.
You don't want to immediately show your hand, right?
Exactly.
You want to keep that fan closed a little bit longer. It's not like Merciless Havoc, but even if you keep throwing it out, it's still not going to really be there with the spacing to look for that parry successfully, because you're not going to be able to close up the distance and actually deny the weapon from their hand, as opposed to the fan with that wind spout, where if you are able to close up the distance, it does mean that the fan does go out of your hand and onto the ground.
Yes, indeed. It is not the same as longsword. Although many people have referred to fan as
better longsword.
Yeah, just a dagger longsword, as it has so much range, and that's why we saw as well many players opting to swap the dagger into the fan. As it, for example, with your Takeda. Takeda, he's still very strong with dagger. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But with fan, able to, if you potentially get that initial blue focus confirmation with the vertical or the horizontal, you can then guarantee the follow-up after using one of your shoves, going into the follow-up and then going for a tech chase as well, or you setting it up, just does so much damage. I think everyone who's been playing since Fan came out can agree that Fan does a lot of damage.
Yeah, it really does feel like last month before Fan was out, every Takeda that took an MVP on the esports stage had a longsword, had Phoenix, had Hector. And again, like, you can play off of the fact that you can throw that R&B on the fan out so quickly, so far, that you can follow up those same styles of follow-up with the longsword, where you have that activation of your ultimate, you're able to use the shoves to light stagger your player that you're running into so they don't have the opportunity to be able to find the parry. And when you're running fan into longsword, it has a significant advantage in that the R&B comes out so much faster than any of the focus stages coming out from the longsword. So if you try and look for the clanks from just a range face-off, fan always comes out on top.
Absolutely. And one little trick for you to try at home, ladies and gentlemen, is that with the fan, with the vertical, and with the horizontal as well, you can grapple cancel out of the animation. So once you've sent that forward fan out, you can grapple, send out the grapple, and cancel the return from the fan. One of the ways that a lot of players will look to parry fan users is that they will try and avoid the initial throw out from the fan,
and then parry the second
exactly
return,
they can jump parry from a little bit further away, or look for a shift parry, a dodge into the hitbox of the animation and then parry. So if you're able to read that prediction from your opposing player with that grapple cancel, you can then look for a grapple bump, or look for the grapple cancel into a light attack, a 1-2, and then look to try and chase them on their dodging. Very nice.
It's nice to see that we're getting, different weapon styles. Because again, you have to remember, Fan came off of the back of Dreadful Whale getting that gold focus. And you want to talk about weapon identity. It didn't matter what hero you were running, everyone had Dreadful Whale in the back pocket, and it always turned into who has the Dreadful Whale on their team, how many can you stack, and when the final zone closes, are you going to be able to stop people from anticipating that blue charge so that you can go into the windup of the gold. And it's absolutely unpunishable, especially with that insane level of CC stagger on the last strike.
No, absolutely. Dreadful Whale, it is truly dreadful. No, it really is. The fact that it's gone from purple to gold means that it is extremely powerful, not only in solos but also in trios, as you're able to section off a huge portion of terrain area
yeah, because
for
you used
your
to be able
team.
to clank it with the R&B on the dagger.
You were able to clank the purple with blue, as that is one of its properties, but we will look at that later. We are looking currently at the scoreboard for this game, and CDGG with 16 kills to their name, first place with that juicy multiplier, managed to take home 26.4 points. Very, very nicely done by GG.
There are two staples in Naraka Esports. GG will pop off on Holoroth Game 5, and J-Team's action will pop off in Game 6.
Indeed. But following up from that, we have KLA in second place with 11 kills, 14.2, OUG with 7 kills, XCG with 8, HLG with 7, Lobby 28.5, 5, 3, 3, 2, 1, 0. Unfortunately, the IDC and NTL are still lurking on the bottom of the leaderboard. NTL had a decent game. It looked as though they could potentially pick it up, but unfortunately they haven't been able to do so, just caught in really rough situations. But we're looking at GG right now, and look at that. Look at that damage. It's nothing too crazy either. It's decent damage, just solid.
It's
solid
consistent.
performance.
It's consistent damage. This is the thing that GG is so good at. A lot of the time they will take fights, but they'll actually finish off kills with the ranged weaponry. I would go as far to say that they are the best team when it comes to identifying those low health players around them, swapping to those ranged weapons and picking up the kill incredibly quickly. As I say that, I think he might have picked up on a point.
Potentially. But one thing I did actually notice there is that Tumult is running V1. V1, ladies and gentlemen. And we usually see V3, which allows you to get your Tumult sand wisps by going through the wall and get them back and throw them out back to back to back and try and create opportunities, get those CCs on the opposing players and allow either yourself or your teammates to follow up. But he's running that V1 and he doesn't see the value. He's looking to get that longer ultimate and keep his ult up longer so that he's able to control space more effectively. I mean, we've even seen V2 relatively recently being used by quite a few teams, but V1, I don't think we've seen for a very long time.
Do you know, that might explain why GG had the confidence to take this round with Yang fights. Because you do have to remember, even though there were a lot of tumultuous in the lobby, GG pick up 2 round of Yang fights for free every single time. They have that confidence because of that change on their loadout for the tumultuous. We can have a look at why exactly this team are so confident on this map. Starting things off incredibly aggressive was KLA, as we can have a look at GG spawning into Yushan Ruins. Love the loop hopping here as we go see Free get taken for a ride. The LMB on those dual halberds doing so much to just space the Z-Ping out of the fight, but thankfully you've got the teammate there to be able to peel all of the aggression away.
Absolutely, look at this. Oh, he doesn't care. DRG Wuxing, he's not bothered by that Viper tether being attached to his back. He is still going hard, sending out those vertical blue focuses on the staff. Here we are, Xiaonan with this very nice fight, managing to pick up these kills onto GG after they managed to eliminate a team. They still had that buff, so they were able to stay in the game, but they do give over those kills. This was so very nice. Oh, OUG SS doing work with that Phoenix Blast Hepta on that Cicada. Oh, there we are, the Dreadful Whale that we were just talking about. Very nice.
Whale where you just throw it out on the lower level of the rock phase 2, so you have your 2 teammates up on the high ground, pushing players into the lower level where the Dreadful Whale has already moved past that blue charge into the golden focus, and there is nothing you can do except hope that the ground has a cushion when you land.
Yeah, or potentially throw out something gold. You need something gold. You could, if you parry a player, potentially you can clank it against that. I mean, you just need something, you know, something that comes to mind. ACOS F1. We haven't seen any ACOS, but that's something that came to mind. If you manage to get in there, you can do that. However, LXM with the MVP for this game. F1 V1 to Mulk. Interesting. Very interesting. A 13,000 damage on Pole Sword as well. Holy, that's a lot of damage.
7 assists, 8 kills as well. GG on absolute fire. The synergy between these players is something else that we really do have to discuss. A lot of these teams have sort of been broken down and patched back up and had some of these players come in, some of these players come out. GG has been playing together so long that they've been able to work on that synergy and chemistry that their communication is flawless.
Absolutely. Not all that much damage coming out from the cannon, but a lot from the Pole Sword. Here we are yet again, ladies and gentlemen. You know the drill. Answer for treasures. Answer this question. Put your answer into the chat to have a chance at winning some goodies from Naraka. Now, the question is, which hero will this match's MVP use? Will it be A, Takeda Nobutada, B, Zipping Yin, C, Tumulch, or D, Viper Ning? Make sure to put your answer into the chat and to keep an eye on the chat for when that winner is chosen at random out of the list of participants. You will be messaged, you will be added in the chat and the whispers so that you have you're able to actually get those goodies. Don't be that guy.
I mean, that's got to be one of the easiest ones so far today. We literally showed the answer a good 5 seconds ago. So do you know what? Maybe you can be a Z-Ping and you hit that F1 and you tap dodge back into getting that answer. But make sure that you really are spamming that answer in chat because you're running out of opportunity. That was game number 5. We have one last opportunity for all of our viewers to be able to interact with all of the community goings on. That means one more answer for treasure after a game, one more prediction question in game.
Yes, indeed. Don't be missing out on these treasures. It only works while it's live. So if you're watching it later on, unfortunately, obviously there's time difference. But if you are an early bird and you've managed to wake up early, or if you're just a night owl and you're staying up very late to watch these games, I know I would be.
Yeah, sacrifices we make, Duncan.
Exactly.
It's live,
for the
so
cosmetics.
Sadly, we can't enter, but you know what? I would not rather be anywhere else than right here.
Truly, I completely agree. I would. Shanghai. I can't wait. I haven't met all the players, but I plan to.
I did my rounds yesterday. I had a very
yes,
fun time.
Indeed. You got pictures with all the players. I'm very jealous. I want to meet them all, and I'm sure I will get the chance to. But yes, for now, we are going to be going to a short video, and we will be back very shortly for our final game.
I actually didn't know about 521 until someone had told me their original name last season.
Team 521 is such an aggressive team. I mean, they come from the SAA region. Everybody knows this is one of those regions that absolutely loves to pound the W key.
Definitely bring a special kind of energy to the game, to the lobby.
Em đã chuẩn bị rất kỹ và dành hết thời gian cho Nanaka và G Cup năm nay. Em rất muốn tham gia giải đấu chuyên nghiệp của NBBL và em nhìn nhận nó một cách rất là nghiêm túc vì đó là ước mơ và đam mê của em. Em sẽ cố gắng đạt được thành tích cao nhất trong G Cup năm nay để mọi người biết đến em và em sẽ cố gắng nhiều hơn nữa.
521 definitely a team to watch out for, but specifically Unique, because Unique qualified for both trios and solos. There's only 3 players that have qualified for both solos and trios for the J Cup. So that's IDK's Reumann, Tryhard, and Unique. So is this somebody we need to pay attention to? What do you think?
Đội bọn em đã tham gia 3 lần J Cup và năm trước thì đúng là một thất bại lớn của team em. Thì bọn em đã đạt hạng 16 của chung kết thế giới năm trước, nhưng mà từ đó thì bọn em rút ra được rất nhiều kinh nghiệm và để phát huy bản thân và đồng đội. Và rút kinh nghiệm rất nhiều từ những thất bại và bọn em đã khắc phục nó và phát triển đội vào năm nay. Thì đội em chú trọng vào việc phối hợp và việc giao tiếp nhiều hơn và không có đánh theo kiểu cá nhân nữa. Thì tụi em phối hợp đồng đội nhiều hơn.
And coming from a region that is so hyper aggressive, being your team's shot caller and the support, so you have a broader view of what's going on.
这一局打得要更加的规整，更加的有这个纪律性，而且3个人的这个每一个运营的想法都是已经提前计划好的。
You know, you have to keep your teammates alive while they're running it down just straight head first into teams, getting oogly boogly. You know, you have to keep them alive. You have to keep them in check. Hey, come back, stop, chill. You know.
Tất cả mọi người sẽ là tin tưởng em và nghe em call trong một trận đấu đó, nên là đó là chiến lược của team em. Em sẽ cảm thấy nó rất là hạnh phúc bởi vì đó giống như là một cái ước mơ của em á và ước mơ của team em.
Ước mơ lớn nhất của em khi mà chơi cái game này đó là vô địch thế giới.
Nên em sẽ học hỏi kinh nghiệm từ những bạn khác và em sẽ cố gắng hết sức.
Mục tiêu của đội em đến với J Cup lần này đó chắc chắn là vị trí quán quân, bởi vì bọn em đã dành rất là nhiều thời gian cho Naka. Hầu như là tất cả thời gian của bọn em đều dành cho Naka và mục tiêu của tụi em là vô địch. Em có tự tin.
Getting oogly boogly, you finally managed to do it. You got it into the official broadcast. And you know what? We're getting ready to head into the very last match of Trios Day 1 for the official Naraka Blade Point J Cup 2023. And there's been a couple of surprises, especially from some of these team performances.
No, there definitely has. One thing I just wanted to mention. I think I saw 521 playing Targa Zero Band. Is there a possibility?
Are you really going to get burned twice?
HLG, I love you and I hate you right now. I'm not gonna lie. You pick both Hadi and Tarka with zipping. You hover them both.
They dangle it directly in front.
Exactly.
You get super excited.
You fill my heart with joy and then you rip it away from me. How could you do that?
Dreadful wailed right through.
True, very true. But here we are with another prediction. To enter this prediction, you have to go through the client, through the website, to be able to secure your picks to this question. Which of the following 2 teams will achieve the most kills in this match? If identical, the one with the most damage dealt will win. Will it be A, BNGC, or B, 521? Make sure to get those predictions in. Have a chance of winning some juicy J Cup goodies. Don't miss out.
It's the last time too, at least for today.
At least
you
for
get
today.
the opportunity to do it every single day that this event does run,
Exactly.
every single match. But it is one last match, and that means one last opportunity for these teams to work around those hero points. But something else that we're going to be working around is our social media handles. You can find all of the information on how to follow Naraka Blade Point, as well as making sure your Twitch account is connected, because I would hate for you all to be here spending hour after hour with us on J-Cup and find out that your account wasn't linked and you don't get any of the goodies as a result.
I mean, you're bound to be enjoying the show just as we are. We're having a great time casting. We're having a great time being here in Shanghai. But, of course, you don't want to miss out on some free goodies, some free cosmetics to take into game. No one would. So, yes, make sure to get your account linked to Twitch or whatever platform it might be that you can secure these goodies. It'll come up into your mail, in-game, in the client, once you have claimed them on the website. But enough of that. It's time for the game 6. What have we not seen?
Farrier.
Exactly. We haven't seen Farrier.
We haven't seen Farrier.
Seen Hardy or time.
Well, technically.
Okay,
well,
don't give me that. No.
We did see Hardy
I mean
and Taka
in-game.
for 5 seconds.
No, so I do envision we will see Farrier this tournament. And with the buffs that we've already talked about, we will definitely see. I'm not sure about this final game. There are going to be some teams that, I mean, it's possible. So here are two schools of thought. The first are those who are sitting atop the leaderboard, very comfortable, having accumulated a considerable number of points, taking away some of the risk, you know, allowing them to potentially experiment with certain compositions that they've been cooking up in the lab, you know, Farrier, Paddy, what have you, whatever it might be, they might bring something out to experiment. Or they might, on the other hand, look to try and save it.
Yeah.
Save it as a surprise, you know?
True.
Something spicy for finals or for the last few games of... Yeah, exactly. So we're going to have to wait and see, though. We're going to be finding out very reasonably shortly, I would envision. But one thing I would like to see, though, V3.
Oh.
I still think it's
Okay,
V3
I'm gonna let
It's
you
like
sit on your
Tessa.
soapbox and you can pitch this to me.
Okay, V3 Justina. It functions in a similar way to Tessa. Tessa having her ultimate available to her at 55%, allowing her to take a lot of rage, but not only that, initial rage, allowing you to get a lot of value out of it off the rip. So if you're in a very aggressive team, you can look for an aggressive early game, a hot drop opportunity to jump in, just get oogly. You know, you've got your ultimate up, ready to go as Justina or Tessa, and you can do a lot of work with that. And because it's a Mortal War, because scaling is so important, you're able to transition those coins that you get, that currency that you receive, from getting those early kills, because another key difference between Immortal War and Herald's Trial is that when you actually get a kill, you don't just get the money that they had on them, you get given money. So, especially with First Blood as well, First Blood gives a little bit extra, you know, a little extra something. So, if you're able to secure those early kills, you're able to get that snowball rolling down the hill, you've managed to shove it down the top of the peak, and you can start running behind it and just keep throwing punches and keep adding more to the big snowball that's rolling down the hill all the way to endgame. So, with that, works quite nicely with Justina. With that, Justina is able to not only secure a very good performance early on in a hot drop situation, but because of the fact that you can run so much rage on her, as she's very happy being stationary. When you use the ultimate, you're standing still, you have the damage reduction, you have that gold focus, you're able to stand there and throw it out. And now, the freeze duration on this ability, on Justina's abilities, all got buffed for trios. They now freeze transformers for a longer duration.
Yeah.
That includes Farrier. So, because of all of this, it now creates more opportunities, more potential to take down these meta competitions.
You know what I'm really sad we haven't got to see? SEA Giải.
True. I'm not surprised though.
Yeah, I think they might be holding on to that pick for a little bit of time.
See, I'm not sure if they are. I think that they may have put it into the cupboard. They may have put it at the top shelf. It's collecting a little bit of dust as Giải received quite a few nerfs.
True.
Her fire damage got nerfed. The actual damage on the empowered fire chain wave, what have you, got reduced. So, and also actually, another thing I almost forgot was that when you're in your F ability, when you're in that sort of, that, I don't know, ghost form, so to speak, where you're able to move around, but you're not like, you can't be pulled out of it, you can't be hit until you act. They changed it so that if you get CC, you get crowd controlled by something like a Justina Freeze, Temmie Wisp, Viper Ultimate, whatever it might be, it immediately pulls you out of that state and making you vulnerable. So, I don't know. Perhaps we will, perhaps some teams cook something up. But yes, we're not seeing it right now, that's for sure.
I think it makes sense that a lot of these teams are trying to play as safe and consistent as possible, right? You want day one to be good for you. You don't want to come out of day one and have the pressure and stress of having to pop off multiple games on day two, because that's going to play havoc into your team's mental, because we're not going directly into trios tomorrow, we cycle back into solo. So that little bit of lull time, if you have a poor performance, that's going to eat away at players.
Yes, indeed. It's also possible that you might not play the day after tomorrow, because this is only the first day. There are 3 groups, so there is an alternation. There's a little bit of it's possible that you might not play in 2 days. We have a whole group of teams not playing today. You know, your DCP, Q, your IDK, TE, exactly. We've got a whole bunch of teams that aren't even playing today. So we're gonna have to see, but for now we are going to be jumping right in to our final game of the day, our first day of Trios J Cup group stage. I love saying.
I know, it does carry that sort of momentous aura.
Indeed it does.
Right, it's very prestigious, as we're going to have a look at where these players are going to be dropping. No surprises, a lot of these teams aiming towards those Rift dealers as quickly as possible to be able to steal away those early Moonbane charm purchases and take it away as a win condition from their opponents, but also give it to over themselves as that opportunity in case things go a little bit awry in terms of third-party arrivals. As DRG's Wuzhen going to be running with that Viper alongside Sanzi's Tessa. It's going to be interesting to see how exactly this team is going to interact with the Sand Siphon composition a little bit to their side as, KLA. KLA already down 2. We are going to see a huge Dragon Slayers into Nezhaz come through from CXZ inside that Tumult Ultimate, but it's not going to be enough to turn the tide of the fight, and KLA immediately losing all of those Rebirth charms.
Indeed. We did have a little sneak peek at NTL over there. They seem to be just a little calm before the storm. They picked up a few armors, but this is the storm right over here. DRG Wuxing already being taken down. HLG Han with that staff trying to create openings, and a beautiful jump parry connection onto Corki. He almost gets the full juggle, but it doesn't matter. He takes him down, and it looks as though DRG might be going to the Soul Altar, and that is indeed the case. HLG picking up 3 very nice kills for themselves, but VNGC, they're lurking around. They've spotted them out, and a huge ultimate coming in from Mines. Beautifully done, beautifully placed from VNGC Mines. The zipping, managing to keep Han alive for the moment. Mines, he's trying to find the parry, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't get the connection. Oh my! Woo-hoo-hoo! The Tessa ultimate coming out, saving them from death. That was so unbelievably close. Asbon and Mines getting taken down so low. They're trying to jump back in. The Viper ult is coming out. Asbon, can he stay alive just long enough? The Tessa F coming out as well too. BBY gets stunned up. Are they going to be able to burst him down? It doesn't look as though they are going to be able to do so. And he gets that zipping ultimate popped, and there it is, HLG surviving this third party.
That has to be so frustrating. The Viper ult connects, but you're not able to kill the zip in time for the ultimate to kick in and save them. Speaking about saving them, GG actually was dropping towards Shadow Jade Mines, picked themselves up a Bane's Breath incredibly early on, used it incredibly early on, but it did not save them in the fight. They lost 2 of their players off screen, so it's going to be interesting to see how exactly they're going to be building back into this lobby, especially because all of that momentum that they just had on Game 5's Holoroff suddenly has been sucked out of their sails.
Yeah, no, that's it's not what you like to see, but having a little look over here, DRG, they've managed to find... Ooh, a purple greatsword. Very nice. That's all you need, ladies and gentlemen.
Especially off of a Tessa.
No, with a Tessa, it definitely is very, very useful. Tessa is very good at keeping people off her with this F ability that is a combo breaker in itself, and then also gives you the Foxfire effect, which has these little fiery orbs circling around you for a second or two, that if you do get hit again, when you're not in a focus state, you get staggered by something, it will then knock people back within a small radius. So you can keep people off you very effectively. And on top of that, if you manage to find a stun, a charm with your ultimate, you're able to do a considerable amount of damage with a heavy weapon. Looking over here, KLA in the top left, the tippity top left of the map, northwest over here. It's one of the very popular looting areas once you've been taken down once. You can go over here. There's a decent amount of loot. There's a decent amount of money as well. A lot of teams opt to go over here once they've been taken down once in a lobby. Can be a very nice little spot, but it's very secluded. So you might not find all that many people for a while.
That's what KLA were banking on. They picked up the rebuff charm and they got that player back into the mix.
Exactly.
They were rolling without one of them. Is GG rolling without those rebuff charms. Sand Siphon not doing great at the moment in terms of that loot loadout. That Takeda not even on the purple scaling of the ultimate, as IDC Zay has got purple halberds, purple armor. Brandoro already in the purple state as IDC are able to find a stash key, open it up. This does paint a target, however, on the map, because everyone is going to know that that has been opened and they're going to come calling because they want what's inside.
Absolutely. And it also looks as though IDC Zay has a bounty on his head, but it doesn't look as though the threat level has increased even just a little bit. The bounty hunters must be quite a distance away from them for the moment. It looks as though IDC are going to be able to get this stash, get all of this loot uncontested for the moment. Zay's taking his turn to go into the stash. Brandoro and Lexon have already picked some of the things up, picked it clean. Zay, you can have the scraps.
Well, here comes 521 who were coming for that team. Like we said, getting to see that stash has been opened, they can now look to try and track the team down and take the fight. They've got that Tesla, they've got the Viper, and if things do take a turn for the worse, they're going to have the Wu Chen teleport. They may well actually be the ones with the bounty on Zay's head, which is the reason why Zay has that purple armor, so that he's going to be able to survive the pressure coming through from the team that can keep a track of his whereabouts.
Exactly. Tomolk also very slippery, very hard to hold down, as your F is very, very good. It has lots of properties that in fact allow you to iframe through certain things. A very nice little bit of tech with Tomolk F, if you're able to time it at the correct moment. If you've been charmed by Tessa, or you have the Viper tether on, you can time it to avoid it. Oh, Yin getting a beautiful parry onto Brandoro, but it doesn't look as though it's going to be all that. Oh no! Oh, they so nearly take him down, but Yin does get taken out of danger by his Wu Chen. Did they just grapple straight over the top and not know? Surely they saw them. Surely.
I'm sure they
Surely, right?
I don't think they want to take the engagement on the drop yet. They know that they're there because that Viper ultimate is still there.
I mean, they do have the Takeda ult, though. Pampy getting locked up by this Tessa. Zay might be in a bit of a tough situation here. No, it looks as though this is a pretty good situation for them to be in. Zay is going to get stunned up, but they have that zipping ult, they have that Takeda ult to try and keep him alive, but it's not enough. The crossbow coming in, doing so much damage, melting his health bar. Yin double jumping into the grapple, trying to stay alive. His teammates looking to follow up now. Lexon and Brandoro trying to do as much as they can. The pole sword, it's really slow, but it does a lot of damage. If he's able to get the connection, he might be able to do something, but it doesn't look as though he's going to be able to do so. And Tessa ult is going to lock them up, and they get taken down.
It's not just the Tesla ult, it's the fact that Yin swaps to that fan and just continues to make sure that the Pulsar does not get the opening. If you want to be on the sidelines and come in with the charged right click and do as much damage in the shorter time as possible, you've got to get it past the RMB on the fan, and you can just keep charging it to that 0.9 state and throw it out, and as a result the Pulsar gets absolutely no value. They tried so hard to keep Zay alive, but sadly, even with the zip sustainability, the damage from that repeating crossbow just meant the fight was done.
Yeah, no, they had the right idea. They knew the plan. I think they were just caught in a bad... It wasn't the best terrain, right? They could have, as opposed to trying to lurk around the rocks just a little bit behind, if they had managed to get on top, up on top of the cliff, and then drop down afterwards, they might have had an easier avenue to come in and peel for Zay once he does get stunned. But unfortunately, it is what it is. I do think that they had their reses available, so they aren't out of this game just yet. But we're heading on over to the realm of Yang, and NightHQ just getting juggled. The longsword into the focus slide, just getting all of his armor shredded down. And NTL trying to create an opportunity. Ski getting taken down extremely low. Hero as well, having used the Tumulk ultimate. Doesn't... Oh! NightHQ getting a huge parry read onto Tryhard. Tryhard taking his turn back though with that longsword. Gets that Phoenix Blast. Off of the shove. Oh, NightHQ, he changes focus. He goes onto Hero. He's trying to find an opening, but he's got that Tumulk F, the Tumulk Wisp to keep him alive, get him into the air. Hero and Ski trying to collapse. Oh no! Ski gets taken down out of the air, caught by the fan, and Tryhard as well. He gets caught up on that Takeda F1 grab, and it looks as though it's over for this Realm of Yang. Hero, he jumps up into the air, tries to use the Tumulk F, but it's not enough.
Speaking about not enough, this fight is not over. We head into the second Realm of Yang and get to see Team FPX going up against 5-2-1. The Pulsar immediately shredding Akame, as well as that Katana coming in with the follow-up damage. Yin incredibly low, and Dongqing doesn't even need to use any more of the ultimate to be able to find the fight win. Returning to that first Realm of Yang that we saw, yet again, the point is proven. Fan is just a better longsword. Tryhard was trying to come in on those sidelines with that Phoenix Blast that we've talked about. It is synonymous with Takeda in the past because of the stagger potential set up off of your ultimate, as well as being able to peel for your team in the Realm of Yang and look for those lines to play defensive. But it gets thrown out a little bit too often. It gets read into, and it's either parried or immediately clanked with the RMB of the fan.
Indeed, it is. After the longsword, alongside its base damage, but also the damage on Phoenix Blast and Hepta, all being reduced quite a while ago now, I think.
True.
It all got nerfed. So now, with the fan being introduced to the game, doing so much damage, I think there needs to be an equalization of damage, potentially, to bring Longsword back into the meta, but we're going to have to wait and see. Yin, a huge jump parry, sends the punish back over to Lexon, as the Tumulk Wind would have prevented him from getting that follow-up. Lexon, so unbelievably low. It's a rematch. The Bloodbath coming in. He's trying to get the stun, and he does get it. Lexon taken down 5-2-1. Even though they have the Yang depletion, they have found IDC to try and fight, and they do take down both Lexon and Brandoro. Zay somehow has managed to find an escape. He's grappling away. He's trying to put as much distance as he can. Yeah, he's only got 2. Down to 1. If he manages to break line of sight, he might be able to put enough distance. It looks as though he may have done just that. He's about to enter a small collection of housing, a little broken down ruins of houses. Maybe he finds an avenue of escape, but we're going to have to wait and see.
FPX now not waiting to take the engagement onto NTL. No ult zone going to be popped as Donkwing with the F is going to be able to connect onto Ski. Phoenix Plus connecting onto Donkwing. Tryhard yet again coming in, trying to find the opening and peel the opposing Takeda off of his support. Will be able to push Donkwing back, but Donkwing now with the RMB frozen out, but this time it's him that's a little bit too predictable. Tryhard able to find a back-to-back parry. Donkwing denied. Tryhard over an absolute sliver of health, and it's now a 1 versus 2. Xiaohu going to be able to use that pole sword, coming in with the staff, looking to find the connection into the gold focus. Donkwing with the LMB going to be able to avoid any of the follow-up damage, and it looks like the call was made that Ski just needed to back out of the fight.
So much pain. As Tryhard would say, that's all my legs, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Tryhard, the man, the myth, the legend. He is just parrying everyone left and right, but it's just not enough, unfortunately. Both Tumulks, it was quite a funny sight. Both Tumulks ulted at essentially exactly the same time, and it was like a perfect little Venn diagram, you know. And then the no ult zone immediately gets popped alongside that, and they all just scrap it out. But due to the huge differential in actual loot, the rarity, like we've got Jiaonan with gold dual halberds right here. It just does, the differential was just too much, it seems, and NTL are going to finally get taken down here. Ski was doing his best to stay alive, but unfortunately he was not able to do that. IDC, we did in fact, we just cut away, we'd cut away previously to NTL's fight. Zay did in fact manage to make it out alive, fortunately, so he may be looking to try and resurrect his teammates. But unfortunately for Ski, he won't be able to do the same.
Yeah, easier said than done as well on the Tumult. You may get golden focus state on your F activation, but you can still get chased by a lot of those uppercuts, especially off of that fan. It comes out so quickly, as we can have a look at where these next realm of Yanks are going to be coming out on the map. KLA looking like they're immediately going to be heading towards that one over on the left side. XEG potentially going to push over there themselves as well. Yeah, KLA definitely posturing up to put themselves on the middle. In a Model War, you know exactly where the portal is going to be. It is always right in the center of that circle. So you can play to either get in as quickly as possible, or you can be petty and grief the opponent into not letting them go free for free.
Yes, indeed. But we're going to have to wait and see. BNGC posturing to go for this Morris Blessing. Not looking to grief a Realm of Yang. KLA, though, they're jumping right in. Purple armors, the blue on CXZ. Not too bad. FPX lurking around the portal. As though they might be trying to go in here. HLG lurking in the wings as well. It's a bit of a standoff right here. FPX, they're waiting. They're hoping that they don't just randomly get Tumult or Viper drop down all of a sudden out of nowhere. Oh, the Detto round onto Han. It looks as though, I think they also tried to delay their entrance as well, so that the other team, HLG, weren't able to go in themselves. That they were able, since they had the optimal positioning, they were able to deny their entry since they waited until the very last second. So here we are, KLA against FPX. Donking finding a very nice engagement. The mirror Takedas, they've got the same mind right now. Yu has lost a little bit of armor. Oh! The tornadoes coming in from the back. Yu taking a lot of damage, but he doesn't seem to be bothered by it. The Takeda shove, the zipping F is keeping him topped up. The Takedas are scrapping it out. The Tumulk with the focus slide. We've seen so much focus slide. It's insane. Water lurking in the background, throwing out those Fs and those tornadoes. Any chance that he has. CXZ, he's topped up. He actually hasn't taken all that much damage, or he's just come back from a reset. Donking, though. Oh my, look at this. Look at that damage. With the focus slide into the slide horizontal with that pole sword, you're able to secure so much damage. 2 seconds, and he took off his entire armor peak with a huge parry. The Tumulk goes up into the air, trying to stay alive, trying to avoid the punish. He does manage to stay alive. Donking gets taken down for it, though. Xiaohu getting that heal up. It's a 3v2 situation. You now in the back, looking for that reset. He's found the 2 heals that he needed. This 2v3 is going to be a rather tall order, but the Tamulk has that ultimate yet again. He's got it up and ready to go. Water with the tornadoes. With that movement, he's trying to create some distance. He's probably going to look for some kind of heal. Oh no, oh, and there it is. He just gets mosh pitted. Xiaohu scale rushing around. There's not much time. Oh, and there it is. KLA come out on top.
That was a whisker away from timeout as XCG a whisker away from going out of this lobby. HLG coming in with that win spite. Soul Jade yet again on the fan. Nai HQ off of the Furin shoves into the Flamer. So he's able to swap, doing so much damage in such a short span of time, as well as denying any opportunity for that heal to be able to come through and sustain the other side. And you want to talk about focus slide in that realm of Yang Duncan? I want to talk about Phantom Step. You was an absolute sliver. Like, he was so low that sometimes his health bar was almost on 0, but he had that Phantom Step, he had that additional iframe, and as a result, when he was tap dodging away from a lot of that damage, he was able to keep himself out of the clutches of things like the soldiers out from the other side.
Phantom Step, you're absolutely right. It is such a good Jade. It should be a gold Jade.
Yeah, especially when you have either a fan or a dagger to set it up, because then, you know, you get your dagger dashes, you get your soul break, and you also get your iframe too.
Oh my, it's a lot. It's a lot. If you go up against a Nether Step, Phantom Step, fan or dagger player, you know, you got Soul Shatter on the fan, you got Assassin's Lunge on the dagger, you're in for a rough go of it. I'll tell you that. It is not very it's not pleasant. It feels next to impossible to actually create an opportunity, to actually take prio from that player.
Especially when it's Takeda Mirror.
Yeah, it can literally be anything. It's just like, it's the combo of those Jades and those weapons, it just makes it so difficult. And if that character happens to have some form of self-peel, some kind of combo break, any opening that you do manage to find or create can just be broken out of by that, and then you have to do it all over again.
It slips away, just like you can slip out of the Viper ult.
Indeed, exactly. Another great thing about Phantom Step, it does give you that stealth, that invisibility. So for things such as Viper ult, the tether does not attach to you in that dodge moment. But speaking of Viper, Asbon, he's been forced into a very bad situation. The jabbing coming in from Don King. FPX have just obliterated VNGC, the 0-ban zone, the 3-ban zone rather, preventing the ults from being used. They get that Tamulk ult down, they use that tower, and then they just clean up VNGC and pick up those soul blooms, and they are very happy with themselves. XCG coming in to the mix as well. They pick up the final member of VNGC, Mines, who'd gone in the opposite direction trying to stay alive, but unfortunately he went straight into the clutches of XCG.
FPX doing such a good job of making sure that they're always the one in control of that fight. You've got the nunchucks coming through from water to keep those players locked into that stagger, and you actually see him taking that forward aggressive position. He's the first in the line to set up for the jabbing once the cat is out of the bag, and players that you're going into know to anticipate that really fast throw of the blue, as unfortunately for FPX, they're going to have to pick up a soul bloom really fast, otherwise even though they have the synergy, they're still going to be kicked out of the lobby.
Yes, you do not want that to happen, as when you die to Yang depletion, you cannot be resurrected by just going and interacting with the dead body. You have to go and buy them back with a rebirth charm. That is definitely not what you want at this point in the game, as it's very likely that those rebirth charms have been bought up, and none of the Morrises that are going to spawn are going to give a rebirth charm, and that is exactly why.
They're chasing a Wuchen team. Oh no.
If they manage to isolate one of these players and quickly burst them, they might be able to do something, but there's only 25 4 seconds left. They need to make something happen right now. They need to get that Soul Bloom, but the Wuchen Port is gonna come in and keep them alive. Xiao Hu, he does have his Small Card available. The KLA is very close by. They could potentially swap their focus, but it doesn't look as though they're going to choose to do so. And Water is now getting chased down by CXZ. The focus slide coming in yet again, ladies and gentlemen, and there he is. Taken down, unfortunately. One of the worst feelings to die to Yang Depletion. It's heartbreaking. It is what it is. We've all been through it. Thankfully, Xiao Hu and Dong Hu. Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, they're still alive. So maybe they can stay alive long enough to get more placement points due to the multiplier. But
Dong Quing just went down.
Okay.
I mean, Xiao Hu's got ult. He's got a little bit of health to work with. He's got Vitality. He's got a Pole Sword to try and deter. I also like as well the fact that he's not really going into the purple bushes because we've seen players now methodically clear purple bushes.
Yeah.
Instead, players are being a lot smarter and they're actually putting themselves into areas where they're more out in the open. They're not obscured, they're not immediately stealthed. But as a result, it's not somewhere you would immediately think to try and check for a runaway straggler. Is Xiao Hu with that Tumultuous ultimate, trying to break free, live to survive another day, goes up the cliff face to be able to scale rush outside, but he gets stuck inside the terrain of the boat beam, and he gets held in place by the Tumultuous Wisp on the other side.
What just happened? He just bumped into him, literally. He just headbutted this man. Another Tumulk with his Wisp ready to go, and he gets CC'd, he gets locked down, the crossbow coming in, and the Pole Sword bonk to finish him off. GG.
That's so unfortunate for FPX.
So
they had
unlucky.
11 kills.
They had so many kills. They're not able to capitalize on that multiplier, unfortunately, but Tell You Who is going to be able to. XCG with 15 kills on the board currently, and it can potentially go even higher since there are 18 members, or 18 players still left alive. That's 15 potential kills. I doubt they'll get all 15, but it is the cap. That is the most kills that they could get, theoretically.
OUG are absolutely untouchable at the moment on the low end of that ship. They've got the Blood Ripper, they've also got Merciless Havoc, and they're just throwing it out again and again so that no one puts pressure onto them, because you can see that they've still got 2 blue armors as we can have a look at what KLA walk away with for free. Legendary armor, legendary flamer. That's not going to be something fun for those zips to deal with, but unfortunately it does actually cost them. Peak goes down.
Yeah.
The zip without that sustainability is going to make it a lot harder for the Takeda to play for the win condition of the zone collapsing, and with the way that this zone is setting up for so many different levels, that Takeda is not going to have a fun time using the Fury and Shoves to actually translate into extensions.
Yeah, and he's getting stuck on these buttery rocks. It's so difficult. I'm just watching him try his best to just smoothly maneuver around this cliff face, and he's just getting stuck on all of it.
Do you know what? It's nice to know that these pro players struggle with that movement on the cliff faces too.
Yeah, everyone does. It happens to everyone. OUG, they seem to be traversing it relatively well for the moment. SS, he's trying to find some kind of opening here. He's got that cannon, thrown out those cannonballs. He's not really found all that much success just yet, but hey, LXH eating a bit of damage there from a cannon. Team 28 in a pretty decent position. They can rotate a little bit later on towards the safe zone as they are on the high ground. They can see everything that's happening in front of them as it's all below them. They don't have to go up a hill, up a cliff, or whatever it might be. They are trying to put a decent amount of pressure onto 521 over here as well. 521 are in a very bad situation as they're going to be forced into KLA over there. It's the 2 gold armors, the Tumulk and the Takeda. Although they are a 3-man team as of right now, 2 gold armors, Takeda Tumulk, from 2 members of KLA. That could be rather a pretty hard cliff to scale.
Oh, huge Tessa
Big
coming
Tessa
through from the likes of XCG having to deal with that. Really good stuff coming through from NightHQ to be able to cover for his Zip, who's not able to interact with the Earners. We're going to see everyone now try to trap these players in towards the outer edges of that zone. Tumult Ultimate having to be invested on the side of Team 28 up on the high ground, so they're able to survive all of the attention coming through. 5-2-1 off of the back of that Tester Ultimate have actually been able to dethrone XCG's position on the side and have immediately moved forward to replace them.
Indeed. Did you see the little loot pile on top of that tree?
On the tree!
Each member of the team just takes their turn to go to the top of the tree and grabs some resources. You love to see these little goofy moments in these games, but it's not... Actually, it's about to get even oogly goofier with this Blood Ripper coming out from OUG. Oogly boogly. I love to see it. The gold Blood Ripper. Jinyu, he's just running around having a good time. He's mowing the lawn. He's ready to go. He's just trying to section off that little bit of space for his team, as when you are running around with the Blood Ripper active, you are in purple focus, and any range projectiles that clash, that hit you, are just going to clank. They're going to get destroyed by the Blood Ripper itself.
Ooh! CXZ!
A beautiful barrier to heavy sword sap! Oh my!
He's the only one on the team alive, though. He doesn't have the ult. He's taking so much damage, looking to find the connection. The Assassin's Lunge, locking him down into the follow-up damage from the Flamer. And GG knock KLA out of the lobby. Viper Ultimate now coming on through from Team 5-2-1. Yin with the double jump, able to find the connection onto all of the players of Team 28 up on the high ground. Zip Ultimate going to be kicking in to keep everyone sustained. 5-2-1 locked outside of the zone with the Tumult Ultimate coming through. Have to be so careful that they don't immediately drop into the Flamer. Coming on out from the team on the other side, Yin has no choice but to directly go into the barbecue. They've got the Wish and TP, but the Fire Tick still hits!
Oh, that is so unfortunate. They just aren't able to get in and stay healthy. The Flame Ringers, all the fire damage just ticking away at their health bar. Their shield was essentially full, but they're just getting absolutely cooked. All of these Flamebringers, all of it's being used so unbelievably well by these teams. XCG doing an excellent job of just obliterating the lobby. They're running around, having a great time. Miskia is the next target. The Takeda for GG. He's stuck on the buttery rocks, on the terrain. He's unable to escape. NightHQ, he does not want to stop, and he's gone up the cliff into the clutches of OUG, but he's ready to go. The gold fan is doing so much damage. The zipping is unable to do anything about it and just gets shredded, absolutely obliterated. And here we are again, Jin Yu now dropping down into NightHQ, and Xiaonan up against the wall, up against the cliff, and he gets taken down as well. LXM, the final remaining member of Team GG, he's trying to stay alive as long as possible. He's managed to secure that second place for his team, but oh no, he's not getting first. Oh, XCG. Good.
What is the fire damage going to be from that Flamer? I tell you what, you didn't get the Taka.
No.
But
it's a lot of fire.
Technically, you did get Takeda turning into miniature Taka with that Flamer.
Pseudo Taka with the Flamebringer.
Taka 0.5.
Absolutely. One day, one day. I will copium on that for the rest of my life. But XCG closing out the first day of J-Cup group stage with a banger, an absolute banger, doing exceptionally well. I mean, we're talking about XCG, but so many of these teams performed so well today. VNGC, 5-2-1. Unfortunately, our boys from NA and EU did not have the best of performances today, but it is what it is. We've talked about it. NBPL teams have been plenty of times where in certain series, in certain splits, certain teams have just had a bad series. And it's okay, it happens to the best of us. Recognize that and move forward and come back in the second day with a vengeance. ready to go and ready to get oogly boogly.
I mean, speaking about coming back with a vengeance, XCG back on this stage. The last time we saw them right here, they were lifting the NBPL Season 2 2023 Trios Champion Trophy. So they really have been working very hard, making sure all of their synergy is on point. Their sand siphon composition is absolutely terrifying. Their loop pathing and scaling into late game, really, like that flamer, I really do feel like it has been such a difference maker in these lobbies, because that fire tick with that heal cut just makes it so much harder for other sand siphon compositions to hold on to their abilities, and you get to essentially force so many fights. You don't need to actually instigate or put yourself into too close a position where it turns back on you. You pull out a flamer, you threaten that space, everyone is scattering out of the way, and they'll run into other teams, which will leave them vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that poor just ticking away, slowly getting crispier and crispier, and just with full arm, but unable to do anything about it.
It's okay, she's got the blindfold. See, she didn't see. It's fine.
Oh yes, it is. It's a rough sight to see it happen. When you have full armor and you're just dying to fire things. It happens. But that is why we talk about it so often, especially in trios. You're able to get just insane value from fire. Flame breath, flame bringer, all of it. Fire arrows did receive enough.
True.
However, it's still very strong if you have a lockdown, or if you've managed to lock down a target, or if you're just that good, you're able to send those flicks out and you're able to get that double charge bow shot. You're able to do a considerable amount of damage directly to the health bar, and it's not only your essentially bypassing the armor, but you're also able to cut that healing and prevent it from doing as much as it should. It's so obvious at this point that healing in trios is very important.
Yeah.
When your Karumi dies on Transformers, you are in a really bad spot. If your zipping dies, as Takeda Tumult, we saw it at the end there, KLA was in a really bad, even though they had 2 gold armors and were very looted in terms of weaponry, they weren't really able to do anything about it. They just collapsed on. If the zipping and the Takeda had been alive together as a pair, as opposed to the Tumult, they could have done a lot more.
True.
But unfortunately that wasn't the case. And it's time and time again, fire damage is just king.
I mean, something that sort of got stealth buffed as well with the changes to soldiers, where we have the combinations now, is Flame's Breath, because it got combined with Rupture Gale.
I did want to say that earlier.
So not only are you getting that fire tick with Rupture Gale, you're also getting a wider AoE radius, and that is absolutely devastating in trios, because everyone has to play so close together so that if you get claps on, everyone can sort of huddle up and try and just raise their shields, raise all of their weapons, and hope that by just hedgehogging into a position, they're not going to get pushed even further.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, but look at that scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. 25 kills!
5 over a 20 bomb.
At 25. 25 kills for Team XCG in Game 6 of our first days of trios. 39 points with that first place placement. Get those dubs, turn that 25 into 35, ladies and gentlemen, and you are very happy. Second place, we have FPX with 11 kills. There's quite a contrast there. However, it's not like they didn't perform well. Those teams in second, third, and fourth, they're all performing extremely well. It's just that XCG pulled it out of the bag this game, and they popped off.
Okay, Mr. Target Expert, how much damage do you think the Flamer did? You're gonna have to guess soon. It's gonna be coming up in a second.
I'm gonna say 7 to 10,000.
Okay.
7 to 10,000, I would estimate. That's if he's the MVP. It's possible, but we're gonna have to wait and see. Still though, 28,000 damage on that Tumult with the V2 again. So thing is, it's very interesting how the meta has moved from V3 to V2, and we've also seen V1 as well. It's as if these teams can't make up their mind as to which is better.
I think it's more just sort of they want to throw curveballs in because they know there's going to be so many other Sand Siphon compositions.
Yes.
Just having that opportunity to be ever so slightly different gives them an opportunity to have an edge in a fight.
Exactly. It can be in those tough situations, in those high intensity environments, it can be difficult to deal with something that you're just simply not expecting. But here we are looking at the total standings for the day. XCG sitting atop the leaderboard with 117.2 total points.
Oh my.
Oh my.
That is a lot of points. We might have to cross-reference
is
that, but
indeed.
that might be the most amount of points picked up in a tournament day.
Potentially. However, we have OUG and KLA in second and third place, with FPX fourth. There is not all that much in it between those two teams. That is literally 5 points between second, third, and fourth place. That is not very much at all. And it speaks to how competitive this environment, these two lobbies, have been today in the series.
I mean, this was 100% the lobby of death.
Yes.
If we can have a look at a replays of some of those dabs, really love to see that Tessa coming on for his HLG's PPY is able to come in with that slam on the spear and find the connection. You charging the Dragon Slayers into Nezhar's conversion to land into the spine of the Mirror Cicada, and immediately you can see Nightshade looking to back on up using the shove to be able to create even more distance. Kaylee's peak on the cliff side, coming in with a flame breath of his own as you, with the jump horizontal, cleans up the player above his head.
Indeed, we've got a little bit of a clip here with, oh baby! Naya HQ showing exactly why Fan is one of the highest hit rate weapons at the current moment in time. You're able to pick for, so what happened there was Soul Shatter, uppercut, grapple cancel, blue focus, obliteration.
Remember as well, like the fan scoops you closer, right? So you're able to utilize that downtime to be able to swap to something like the Flamer, and then because the fan has actually brought them into the distance, the Fire Tick is going to be able to connect as well. So there's some really good synergies coming through from those two weapons, and NiHQ was 100% banking on that.
No, he's been performing extremely well today, and he's showing off that fan damage, the gold fan, and the newest mythic skin for the fan, the extreme skin, the red rarity. It's very nice. The fact that it changes color every time you do a short handle dodge or a quick dodge. They've changed the name of it. I think it's a quick dash or quick dodge. Something along those lines.
Okay.
Every time you dodge, you get that color switch, and it's very.
What did you say, 9K on the
7
Flamer?
to 10.
7 to 10, okay, how accurate?
Oh, okay. Alright then. Alright, okay.
I can see why you want to play Taka, if you think Fire Tick damage is going to be able to do that much, but speaking
I
about
mean,
NiHQ,
7 was definitely up there, but it's just that we were talking about it so much, and he was doing so much damage in general, and it looked as though every time we cut to him, he had the Flamebringer in his hand and doing, and so we will have to see. I don't know.
Speaking of cutting to NiHQ, we'll be cutting to this interview with the player. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
大家好，我是叉 J 的奈尔乔。最开始永劫最吸引我的地方，感觉就是新型的大逃杀游戏嘛。一开始是抱着就能冲进前20或者是前30就行了，然后没想到当时冲到了修罗榜第1嘛，就开始做主播，然后参加各种平台赛事啊。我可能比较早独立，因为我家里是放养的，就因为我父母是离异嘛，所以我爸他也比较忙嘛，经济方面也不太需要依靠父母。因为我小时候就比较喜欢摩托车嘛，然后之前去这种赛车或者是修车什么的就学过，去当过学徒嘛，也算是。当时参加第一届捷杯的时候，就因为第一次上台打比赛嘛。然后 很激动也很紧张嘛，但因为起点太高了嘛，所以就压力挺大的。锦鲤杯跟节杯第5把的时候都是有夺冠希望很大的，就我成绩都算挺好的。然后到 S1，就节杯打完之后，我们队伍解散了嘛，然后还有一段时间就没怎么训练，就组起来大家也说银河战舰啊什么的，但我们打出来的成绩也就中游，就不太理想，所以就各种粉丝压力啊，或者是外界压力啊，还有我们自己也比较迷茫啊，怎么提升啊？就 S1打完之后才开始放低姿态嘛，就从头来嘛，好好打嘛。就我们成绩一直飘忽不定嘛，就坚持到现在也是一方面是因为2个队友，也因为认识了挺久，也不只是队友了，也是就玩这游戏一直玩到现在了。然后再加上就俱乐部老板比较信任我们嘛，希望看到我们一起拿成绩嘛，所以我们3个就也比较努力，然后平时也会一起玩，放松一下，再加上打职业也是为了上台捧杯的。